Long ago, a nine-tailed demon fox appeared, crushing everything around it with its immense power. A group of shinobi emerged to protect the village from this fearsome attack, and among them was a great ninja who was capable of sealing the monster's power. However, in doing so, he had to sacrifice his life. This ninja was known as the fourth Hokage. He managed to seal the beast within the body of his infant son, and thus our story with Naruto begins. Naruto is a mischievous and lonely child attending the village school. There, his teacher, Irika, scolds him severely for ruining the village's Hokage statues and for failing the graduation exam the previous year. Irika warns him not to fail again this year, adding that the transformation test is up next and every student must pass it to move forward. Sakura is the first to try and successfully transforms into a copy of the teacher, passing the test. The students go one by one until it's Naruto's turn. He, however, transforms into a girl, enraging Irika, who then decides to punish him by making him clean the Hokage statues. Naruto accepts the punishment, saying it doesn't matter since no one's waiting for him at home anyway. This response moves Irika, who tells him that once he's done, they'll go out for ramen together. Naruto is thrilled by this. After Naruto finishes his work, they head to the ramen shop together, and while eating, Irika asks why Naruto ruined the Hokage statues. Naruto replies that he knows they honor the Hokage, who were the strongest ninja in the village, especially the fourth Hokage who saved the village from a giant fox. But Naruto declares that this doesn't matter. One day, he will become the Hokage, and the greatest one at that, so that everyone in the village will finally accept him. Irika is pleased by what he hears, and they continue their meal together. The following day at school, it's time for the graduation exam, and Irika calls each student to perform the cloning technique. Naruto gets nervous since it's his weakest skill, but he gives it a try, though he only manages to create one poorly functioning clone. Mizuki, another teacher, suggests to Irika that despite Naruto's failure, he has a strong body and could master the technique with a bit more training, so he should pass him. However, Irika insists that since all the other students managed to create at least 3 clones, he can't let Naruto pass. Naruto is heartbroken and watches his classmates celebrate their success while he sits alone on a swing, listening to everyone speak badly of him. As he sits in sorrow, Mizuki approaches him and invites him to talk, taking him somewhere private. Mizuki tells Naruto that Irika isn't purposely picking on him, but Naruto questions why he's the only one who failed when he desperately wanted to graduate. Mizuki tells Naruto that if he truly wants to graduate, he'll reveal a powerful secret to him. Later that night, Irika is lying in bed, reflecting on Naruto's sad expression, when suddenly, Mizuki knocks on his door, urging him to go quickly to the Hokage's office because Naruto has stolen the village's forbidden scroll. The village's shinobi gather before the third Hokage, with one explaining that the scroll is a closely guarded village secret, originally sealed by the first Hokage. If the scroll leaves the village, it would be catastrophic. The Hokage instructs them to find Naruto and bring him back immediately, and the search begins, with Mizuki among the pursuers, secretly planning to kill Naruto to claim the scroll for himself. Meanwhile, Naruto is alone with the scroll, attempting to train from it. Irika eventually finds him and questions why he has the scroll. Naruto explains that Mizuki told him where to find it and said it would help him gain power and master techniques. Irika is shocked, and suddenly, they're attacked. Irika shields Naruto from the blows, getting injured. Naruto is confused, wondering what's happening, until Irika warns him not to give the scroll to Mizuki, explaining that it's filled with dangerous, forbidden techniques and that Mizuki only wants it for himself. Mizuki, however, tries to persuade Naruto by saying that Irika doesn't want him to succeed and is hiding the scroll's true power from him. He then reveals the secret that everyone in the village has been keeping from Naruto. He is the nine-tailed fox, the Kyuubi that killed Irika's parents and destroyed the village. Mizuki adds that everyone despises him for this, including Irika. Irika recalls the third Hokage telling him how everyone avoids Naruto, which drives him to act out so people will acknowledge his presence. Naruto feels anger and confusion, and when Mizuki attacks, Irika jumps in to shield Naruto again, taking a severe hit. Naruto asks why he protected him, and Irika responds that they're alike. He explains how he also lost his parents in the war against the Kyuubi and struggled alone through school, just like Naruto. He apologizes, saying that if he'd been more understanding, things might have been different for Naruto. Mizuki mocks Irika, claiming he's lying to trick Naruto into giving up the scroll. Enraged, Naruto flees with the scroll, and Mizuki assumes that Naruto has accepted his words and is out for revenge on the village. Irika, however, defends Naruto, stating that Naruto would never do that. As Naruto runs through the forest, Irika catches up, urging him to stop and assuring him that Mizuki lied. But before he can explain, Naruto attacks him and grabs the scroll, only to realize it's actually Mizuki in disguise. The real Irika appears from behind a tree, having seen through Mizuki's trick. Mizuki taunts Irika for protecting the very boy who killed his parents, but Irika, refusing to let Mizuki Mizuki take the scroll, declares that Naruto is not the Kyuubi. He is Naruto Uzumaki of the village of Konohamaru and Irika's favorite student, someone who gives his all in everything he does. Moved by Irika's words, Naruto steps in and warns Mizuki that if he lays a hand on Irika, he'll defeat him. Using his newly learned shadow clone technique, Naruto creates multiple copies of himself and attacks Mizuki, overwhelming him. After the battle, Naruto tells Irika that he may have overdone it a bit, and Irika is awed by how skilled Naruto is, even considering that he might one day be the strongest Hokage. Irika then tells Naruto to close his eyes, and when Naruto opens them, he sees Irika tying the village's headband around his forehead, officially marking his graduation. Irika tells Naruto that once they return to the village, they'll celebrate together with ramen. The next day, Naruto went to meet the third Hokage to hand him his graduation form. He told him that the form was very important. Before he could finish, a small child ran in and tried to attack the Hokage, but tripped before he reached him. The child got up and said, "Who pushed me? It must have been Naruto." Naruto was about to argue with him when one of the teachers stopped him, explaining that the child was Konohamaru, the third Hokage's grandson. Naruto replied, "I don't care who he is," and went to hit him. But the teacher took Konohamaru away and told him, "You're the grandson of the third Hokage. You can't skip your training anymore. Don't you want to be the fifth Hokage? If you want that title, you need to train hard." Before the teacher could finish his words, Konohamaru ran off, and the third Hokage thought, "This boy is never going to grow up. This is the 20th time he's tried to attack me like this." Meanwhile, Naruto was walking in the street when Konohamaru, trying to sneak up on him, was caught every time. Konohamaru said, "You're really good at finding me out. I'll be your follower, and you have to teach me every technique you know. I want to beat my grandfather." He then declared, "You're my new leader." Naruto, happy with the title of leader, agreed. They both continued walking down the street. As they walked, Naruto explained, "In order to use any technique, you need to learn how to control your chakra." Konohamaru replied, "Yeah, I know. It's the energy in the body. This energy gathers from the cells in your body and becomes denser the more you train. After that, you gather it, form hand seals, and you can execute any technique." Naruto responded, "You don't know anything. You're just reading from the scroll in your hand. To truly master chakra, forget all the theoretical stuff. You need hard work and courage. I'll train you seriously, so get ready. But for now, try to use the transformation jutsu." He pointed to a girl in the street and said, "Transform into her." Konohamaru tried but failed. They kept trying to use the technique on different girls, but every time they failed, and Naruto got hit. When people realized Konohamaru was the grandson of the Hokage, they started insulting him. But Naruto told him, "It doesn't matter. You can transform into a girl to fool the old man, but you need a little more practice. Then you'll be able to beat him." They kept training, and after a while, they rested. Naruto asked, "Why do you want to beat the Hokage so much?" Konohamaru replied, "No one calls me by my real name. Everyone just calls me the Hokage's grandson. No one sees or acknowledges my true self. I can't take it anymore. That's why I want to be the Hokage now." Naruto responded, "Who would recognize someone like you? The Hokage title isn't as easy to get as you think. If you want to earn it, you have to defeat me first." Meanwhile, the third Hokage was standing before the statues in the village when Irika arrived. Irika told him, "I was with Naruto yesterday at the ramen shop. He told me he wants to become the strongest ninja and have the whole village recognize him. He was so happy." The third Hokage replied, "That's a tough dream. As you know, the villagers who fought the Kyuubi 12 years ago know that the beast is sealed inside Naruto. I made a rule that no one should ever mention it, and anyone who breaks this rule will be punished. That's why the children don't know anything about it. This is Naruto's only hope." Before the fourth Hokage sealed the beast inside his son, his only wish was for the villagers to see Naruto as a hero, as the one who saved the village. But unfortunately, no one sees it that way. Everyone tries to avoid Naruto. These feelings have been passed on to their children, so Naruto remains rejected by everyone. But when people hate someone and refuse to acknowledge their existence, they always become stronger. At the same time, Ebisu, who was responsible for Konohamaru, found him and Naruto together. As soon as he saw them, he said, "Konohamaru, come with me. If you really want to be Hokage, you need to train properly." He tried to drag Konohamaru away, but Naruto used the clone technique and created many clones of himself. He transformed into a girl and easily defeated the teacher. Afterward, Konohamaru was upset and said, "I couldn't defeat the teacher. How can I ever become the Hokage?" Naruto responded, "It's not that simple. The Hokage title belongs to the strongest ninja in the village. I've had many struggles in my life too, but after all that, I found someone who recognized me. That person was Irika. You need to be ready. If you want to become the Hokage, you'll go through a lot of challenges. There's no shortcut to get there." Naruto left, and the third Hokage, watching everything, said to himself, "Naruto is right. They They both still have a long way to go before becoming true ninjas. The next day, Naruto woke up and started having breakfast, then got dressed and prepared himself. On his way, he found Konohamaru hiding, who came out and said, "Face me now." Naruto replied, "Sorry, I don't have any time. I have to go to the meeting now because, from today, I'm a real ninja." He rushed off to the academy to attend the meeting. At the academy, Naruto was sitting next to Sasuke, the only survivor of the Uchiha clan, who was admired by all the girls in the class. Naruto felt annoyed by him and stood there staring into his eyes. He was just about to turn back to his Their teacher Irika entered the classroom and announced, "Starting from today, you're all real ninjas. You're now at the genin rank. From now on, you'll be grouped into teams of 3, and you'll complete missions under the supervision of your assigned teacher." Irika began announcing the teams, and when he got to Team 7, it was Naruto, Sakura, and Sasuke. Naruto was shocked and asked Irika, "Why do I have to be with someone like him?" Irika replied, "The truth is, Sasuke is the top student in the class, and you're the last. That's why we're trying to balance the team." Sasuke then told Naruto, "Don't get in my way or hold me back." They all left the classroom, and Sakura kept running after Sasuke, who she admired. She said to him, "Naruto, who's in our team, is useless. He's just a weak boy because he grew up without parents, which is why he only causes trouble." Sasuke told her, "You're very annoying. Stop following me all the time." Meanwhile, the third Hokage was with Kakashi, showing him Naruto's room, and told him, "You'll be in charge of Team 7, the team with Naruto and Sasuke. You're the only one who can handle them properly." Team 7 gathered in the classroom, waiting for their teacher, Kakashi, who was the only one running late. Naruto said, "Since he's late, I'll set a trap above the door." Sasuke responded, "There's no way a Jonin-level teacher would fall for a trap like that." Just as Sasuke finished speaking, Kakashi opened the door and fell into Naruto's trap. Sasuke thought to himself, "How is this guy a Jonin?" Kakashi then took them up to the rooftop and said, "To start, I want each of you to introduce yourselves." Naruto went first, saying, "My dream is to surpass the Hokage and make everyone in the village acknowledge me." Then Sakura introduced herself, but all she cared about was Sasuke. When it was Sasuke's turn, he said, "I hate a lot of things, and I don't like anything. My dream is to restore my clan's honor and to find a certain person and kill him." Everyone was shocked by his words. Kakashi then said, "Starting tomorrow, we'll begin our missions. Tomorrow, you'll have a survival test." Everyone was confused, and Kakashi laughed, saying, "I'm not going to tell you any details about the test, but I'll tell you that out of 27 groups, only 9 graduated under my supervision and became genin. That means your chance of failing and going back to the academy is 2/3. Tomorrow, I'll decide who passes and who doesn't. Bring your ninja tools, and we'll meet at 5 a.m. They were all very nervous after hearing this, and no one wanted to fail the test. Before leaving, Kakashi gave them one last piece of advice. Don't eat breakfast before you leave your house. Then he walked away. The next day, Team 7 gathered on time, waiting for Kakashi, who arrived very late. He told them, "Today's test is to grab these 2 bells before noon. Whoever fails won't get to eat lunch. I'll tie them to a post, and I'll eat in front of them." Sakura asked, "Why are there only 2 bells?" He replied, "Because one of you will inevitably be tied up, and that person will be excluded from the mission and sent back to the academy. You're free to use weapons to attack me, but you won't get the bells unless you fight me." Sakura said, "But isn't that dangerous?" Kakashi replied, "In the world of ninjas, the one who complains the most usually has no skill. That's why we don't need any failures with us." As he finished his sentence, Naruto pulled out his weapon and charged at Kakashi. But Kakashi immediately countered Naruto's attack, redirecting his weapon toward him. Kakashi's speed in attacking had left everyone stunned, and he told them, "Now, the test officially begins." At the same time, Irika was sitting with the third Hokage, and he asked, "I've come to ask about the teacher in charge of Team 7. Is he a strict person? I've heard rumors about Kakashi that made me worry about the students." The Hokage took out a book and handed it to Irika, who was shocked by what he read. He asked, "The number of students who have passed under Kakashi is 0? Back at the test site, everyone was hiding except Naruto, who stood up and said to Kakashi, "Come on, fight me right now." He tried to attack Kakashi again, but stopped when he saw him move. However, Naruto was shocked when Kakashi pulled a book from his bag and said, "Why did you stop your attack? Continue at your own pace." Kakashi effortlessly blocked all of Naruto's strikes, got behind him, and used his secret technique. At the same time, Sasuke and Sakura were watching watching what was happening. Sakura said, "The teacher is very strong. We won't be able to do anything against him." Sasuke tried to attack with weapons, but Kakashi blocked them easily. Then Kakashi noticed Naruto emerging from the lake and said, "You're too slow, Naruto. You need to speed up. Isn't your dream to surpass the Hokage? Then you have to get faster." Kakashi turned to move away, but suddenly saw multiple Narutos coming out of the water and attacking him. These aren't just illusions, they're real clones. This must be the technique he used to defeat Mizuki, Kakashi thought. He told Naruto, "Your technique only lasts 1 minute. Even if you attack me with these clones, you won't be able to get the bell." But suddenly, another clone appeared behind Kakashi and grabbed him, saying, "Didn't you tell me to always watch my back?" All the clones held on to Kakashi, and Naruto tried to strike him. But suddenly, Kakashi disappeared from their midst, and Naruto began fighting with his own clones until they all vanished. Sasuke observed and said, "That was a body substitution technique. It allows the user to change position quickly, as if they disappeared." Naruto stood there frustrated, but then noticed the bell lying on the ground beside him. Overjoyed, he said, "The bell must have fallen from him." He tried to grab it, but it was a trap, and Naruto was tied up with rope around a tree. Kakashi picked up the bell from the ground and said to Naruto, "You should think carefully before making any move." Meanwhile, Sasuke sensed an opening and attacked Kakashi with his weapons, managing to hit him. Naruto was shocked by what happened, but suddenly Kakashi turned into a tree log. Sasuke said, "It's clear that he deliberately lowered his defenses and started running to escape before Kakashi could find him." Sakura also began to run, and while running, she saw Kakashi standing and reading his book, which made her feel a bit relieved. But when she turned around, she saw Kakashi standing right behind her, and he used a genjutsu on her, making her see Sasuke injured, which caused her to faint out of fear. Kakashi then said, "It seems I overdid the illusion a bit," but she couldn't tell if what happened was real or fake. Meanwhile, Sasuke was observing what was happening and thought, "These techniques are simple. I'm completely different from them." Kakashi appeared behind him and said, "Why don't you take the bell first?" They stood facing each other, and Sasuke launched a direct attack, using a trap he had set up earlier. He kept attacking Kakashi and managed to reach the bell, but Kakashi escaped before Sasuke could grab it. Kakashi thought, "This boy is very strong," and said, "I'll admit you're indeed different from them." Then he noticed Sasuke using a fire technique that burned the entire area, but Kakashi had already escaped and attacked Sasuke from underground, saying, "You are really strong. The fire technique can only be used by Jonin, but you need more focus when using it." At the same time, Naruto had freed himself from the tree and found food containers nearby. He jumped down to eat, but suddenly found Kakashi behind him. Sakura woke up from her fainting and started searching for them. Sasuke, someone important to her, came to mind, and her eyes turned red as she said, "I'm the only one who can kill that person." At that moment, I was crying, thinking, I must be stronger than him. There's no time to waste. But the time Kakashi had set for the test was up, and the three of them were taken to the punishment area, where they were all hungry. Kakashi said, "None of you will return to the academy." They were all relieved, but then Kakashi continued, "You won't return to the academy, but you must give up being ninjas entirely because you're too weak, and none of you deserve to be true ninjas." Sasuke attempted to attack him, but Kakashi blocked the attack and put his foot on Sasuke's face. He told them, "Do you think becoming a ninja is easy? Why do you think we train in teams? None of you understood the purpose of this test. You're supposed to be a three-man team, working together to succeed, but it's too late now. You could have gotten the bells if you attacked me together." Sakura asked, "Why would we attack together when there are only 2 bells?" Kakashi replied, "That's the test. In situations like this, you're supposed to prioritize the team's success over your personal gain. That was the point of the test, but you all failed." Sakura was only concerned about Sasuke, even though Naruto was always in front of her. Naruto acted recklessly without thinking, and Sasuke thought you two were a burden and always acted alone. Missions are always carried out as a team. Yes, individual skills are important for ninjas, but teamwork is always more critical, and acting on your own can endanger everyone. Kakashi then left them and walked toward a large stone in the area, saying, "Here are the names of many ninjas. The village considers them heroes, but they're not just any heroes. They are the Konoha's Fallen, which means they died while on missions. This is just a memorial for them, and the names of my friends are engraved here." He then told them, "I'll give you another chance after lunch, but the battle will be tougher. And don't let Naruto eat anything because he broke the rules and tried to eat before the test ended. If anyone lets him eat, they'll fail the test." Sasuke and Sakura started eating while Naruto was tied to the post, feeling hungry. However, Sasuke offered him some of his food, and so did Sakura. Kakashi was watching them from a distance, and suddenly, he appeared and said, "You've broken the rules. I hope you're ready." He used a technique, filling the area with clouds, and the ground started shaking beneath them. But Sasuke said, "You were the one who told us we're a team and must work together." Sakura echoed the same sentiment, and Kakashi smiled, telling them, "You've passed the test. You're the first ones to succeed in this test." He added, "In the world of ninjas, those who break the rules are scum, but those who don't care about their comrades are worse than scum. You three have passed, and your missions will start tomorrow." The next day, the team began their first mission, which was to catch a runaway cat, and they succeeded. Afterward, they went to the Hokage to receive their next mission, which was also a trivial one. Naruto complained, saying, "No, I want to take on harder missions." Irika told him, "Everyone has to start with simple missions to gain experience." The Hokage then explained, "I need to explain to you what a mission is. Many clients come to our village every day, and their requests vary from child care to assassination. These requests are ranked from A to D, depending on their difficulty. The shinobi are assigned based on the need and their skills. If the mission is successful, we get paid by the client. Right now, you're doing D-ranked missions because they match your abilities." As the Hokage continued, he noticed they weren't paying attention, and Naruto said, "I don't care about all that you're saying." The Hokage responded, "I see. Since you're so insistent, I'll give you a C-rank mission. You'll be a bodyguard for someone." Naruto asked, "Who is it?" Just then, the door opened behind them, and a strange man appeared. He introduced himself, saying, "I'm Tazuna, a master bridge builder, and I need you to protect me until I finish building the bridge." They all left the village with him, and Naruto was extremely excited, saying, "This is my first time leaving the village." Meanwhile, two men were watching them from the trees. On the way, Sakura asked Tazuna, "Isn't your village in the land of waves? Are there any ninjas there?" Kakashi replied, "No, there aren't any ninjas there. Each village has its own culture, but there might be hidden ninjas. There are many countries around us, and the shinobi are considered the military force of these nations. However, only 5 nations have shinobi, and they're known as the Great Shinobi Nations. The heads of their villages are called Kage, and all the ninjas work under them. But don't worry, there aren't any ninja battles in C-ranked missions." They continued on their way, but suddenly, the two men who had been watching them attacked Kakashi and appeared to kill him. They then went after Naruto, but Sasuke managed to fend them off, though they escaped his grasp. They tried to attack Tazuna, but Kakashi caught them, revealing that he had used a substitution technique. Kakashi told Naruto, "I'm sorry I didn't save you faster, but I didn't expect you to just stand there." He then praised Sasuke, saying, "You handled yourself well." Naruto, feeling frustrated, thought to himself, "I couldn't move in my first battle, but Sasuke wasn't afraid at all. He helped me without even getting his clothes dirty." He was furious. Kakashi then examined the enemy's weapons and said, "Their weapons were poisoned. We need to remove the poison from Naruto's body quickly. Don't move too much or the poison will spread." He turned to Tazuna, saying, "I need to talk to you for a bit." He tied the two spies to a tree and said to Tazuna, "These are Chunin from Kirigakure village, and they're known as hired assassins." One of the assassins asked Kakashi, "How did you detect us?" Kakashi replied, "You were disguised in a water puddle, but it hasn't rained in days." Tazuna asked, "Why did you let the kids fight them?" Kakashi responded, "I could have killed them in an instant, but I wanted to know something. Who was their target?" He then revealed, "It's you, Tazuna. You didn't tell us there were ninjas after you. You said they were just thieves and bandits. This means this mission is ranked B or higher, and your request was to protect you until you finished building the bridge. You lied to us about the mission, and I'm sure you have your reasons, but this isn't the mission we agreed on." Sakura said, "We're not qualified for this mission. Let's help Naruto remove the poison and withdraw." Kakashi agreed, saying, "That seems to be the case because Naruto will be a burden to us." But suddenly, Naruto pulled out a knife and stabbed his own hand, thinking, "Why am I always the last one? I must become stronger." Blood began to flow from his hand, and he said, "I'm not going back to the village, even if I die on this mission. I'll never lose to Sasuke." He then told Tazuna, "Don't worry, I'll protect you, and we'll complete this mission." Kakashi looked at Naruto and said, "You've already removed the poison, but if you lose any more blood, you'll pass out." Kakashi grabbed Naruto's hand to bandage it, but noticed the wound was healing quickly. He said, "As I suspected, that's the power of the Nine Tails." Meanwhile, the man who had hired the ninjas was furious, but their leader told him, "You'd better stay quiet. I'll handle this mission myself. I am the demon of the hidden mist village, the silent killer Zabuza." The team reached the sea and boarded a boat to continue their journey. The fog was extremely dense, and no one could see anything until they arrived at the bridge under construction. Kakashi turned to Tazuna and said, "I want to ask you a question before we reach our destination. Who are the people attacking you, and what are their motives? If you don't tell us, we will cancel the mission as soon as we land." Tazuna replied, "It seems I have no choice but to tell you. As you've already guessed, this mission is beyond your rank. In truth, my life is being targeted by a terrifying individual, and I'm sure you've heard of him before. His name is Gato." Kakashi asked, "Isn't he one of the richest men in the world?" Tazuna confirmed, "Yes, he's the head of one of the major shipping companies, but in reality, he smuggles drugs using ninjas and gangs. About a year ago, this man set his sights on the land of waves and used his wealth to force his way in, controlling the sea traffic. This means he has taken over the island's wealth and people. The only thing he fears is the completion of the bridge. Kakashi then asked, "So why didn't you mention this when you submitted the request to the village?" Tazuna explained, "The island I come from is very poor. Even the wealthiest people there have no money, and I couldn't afford to request a B-rank mission. If you cancel the mission when we reach the shore, I will definitely be assassinated. But that's not your fault." Kakashi responded, "It seems we don't have any other choice." They made it to the land of waves and disembarked. Meanwhile, Zabuza was watching them, saying, "I know that man well. He's the copy ninja of Konoha, the Sharingan user Kakashi." Suddenly, Zabuza attacked with his sword and appeared in front of them. Kakashi recognized him, saying, "If I'm not mistaken, you're Zabuza." He then told Naruto and the others, "Step back. This one is on a completely different level from those you've faced. Form a circle and protect Tazuna. If he's really our enemy, we're in big trouble." Kakashi removed the mask from his eye, revealing his second eye, which glowed red. Zabuza remarked, "I didn't expect you to use the Sharingan from the start." Naruto asked, "What's the Sharingan?" Sasuke explained, "It's a copying eye. Its power is greater than a normal eye, allowing the user to perform many techniques." Zabuza added, "You're right, but its most dangerous ability is copying the enemy's techniques." He turned to Kakashi and said, "I've read a lot about you. I know you've copied over 1,000 techniques." Sasuke thought to himself, how did he get that eye? It only appears in the Uchiha clan. Zabuza continued, "I came here to kill the old man and leave, but now it looks like I'll have to take you down first." He grabbed his sword and stood on the water, gathering his power around him before disappearing completely. Kakashi told them, "Don't worry, he's trying to kill me first, but you need to understand that he's extremely strong. He's known as the silent killer because he can execute his techniques easily and without a sound. By the time you notice him, you'll already be dead. If we fail this mission, we'll all die." The fog around them thickened, and Kakashi disappeared into the mist. He used his power to clear the fog around him. Sasuke, feeling overwhelmed, thought to himself, "I'm terrified. The feeling of blood surrounds this place. If I take one breath or move my eyes, I'll be killed. That's what I feel. If I stay like this for another hour, I'll go insane. No, I'd rather kill myself than stay in this state." But then Kakashi reassured him, saying, "Don't worry, I'll protect you with my life. I won't let anyone kill my comrades." Suddenly, Zabuza appeared among them, saying, "I doubt that," and just as he was about to strike, Kakashi blocked his attack and seemingly killed him. However, Zabuza had used the substitution technique. When Zabuza tried to strike Kakashi again, he found that Kakashi had used the exact same technique. Zabuza realized, he copied my ability, even in this fog. Kakashi then placed a blade to Zabuza's neck, saying, "I'm going to kill you now." Everyone was both shocked and excited by what they were seeing. But suddenly, Zabuza started laughing and said, "It looks like you still don't understand. A monkey like you can't defeat me, but you are a very skilled ninja. You managed to copy my technique instantly, but that still won't be enough to beat me." Suddenly, a second clone of Zabuza appeared behind Kakashi and kicked him, but Kakashi quickly vanished and reappeared from the water. Zabuza tried to attack him again and managed to trap him, saying, "Now you won't be able to move easily. But before I kill you, I'll deal with these kids first." Kakashi thought to himself, "I underestimated his power, and stepping into the water was a mistake." Another clone of Zabuza appeared and vanished into the mist, then attacked Naruto and threw him aside, saying, "You're nothing but rats." Kakashi shouted, "Take Tazuna and run quickly. None of you can kill him, and since I'm trapped in his prison, he can't move far. His water clone can't stray far from the water either." Sasuke replied, "Running won't do us any good. Even if we escape now, he'll catch up and kill us. Even if we work together, we can't stand against him. If we want to stay alive, we have to rescue you." He rushed to attack Zabuza, but Zabuza easily blocked his attack and threw him aside. Naruto was trembling with fear, thinking, "So this is the power of a real ninja. I have to run away." He tried to push himself up with his hand, but the pain reminded him of what he said when he injured his hand earlier. "I won't be scared anymore. I can't lose to Sasuke." He looked at Zabuza and saw him stepping on the headband that Irika-sensei had given him. Naruto stood up, thinking, "I'm a real ninja now. I said I wouldn't run away anymore." He charged at Zabuza, but Zabuza easily struck him down again, leaving him on the ground. Naruto stood up once more, holding his headband, struggling to stay on his feet. He said to Zabuza, "Didn't you say you have a book with the names of skilled ninjas? Add this to your book. I will become the Hokage of Konohamaru." He tied the headband around his forehead again and declared, "My name is Uzumaki Naruto." Everyone was shocked by his words. Naruto then turned to Sasuke and said, "I need your help. I have a plan." Sakura, surprised, thought to herself, "How did he suddenly get so strong? She looked over to see Zabuza laughing, and he said, "You think you can defeat me that easily?" Kakashi shouted at them, "What are you doing? Run like I told you. Our mission is to protect Tazuna." He looked and saw Tazuna saying, "I'm the reason you're all here. I don't care if I live or die, and I apologize to all of you. If you want to fight him, go ahead." Naruto and Sasuke smiled, and Zabuza started laughing again, saying, "You still haven't learned anything. You're still pretending to be real ninjas. When I was your age, my hands were already stained with blood." Kakashi added, "He's a monster, not a human." Kirigakure was once known as the Bloody Mist Village. He continued, "At that time, Zabuza couldn't pass the graduation exam." Zabuza confirmed, "He's right. The graduation exam was about students killing each other. The friends you ate and played with, you had to kill them to pass, and only one student would be left alive. That student would be the only one to pass." Kakashi added, 10 years ago, they changed the graduation exam rules because of the appearance of a monster. A small child killed over 100 people without hesitation. That monster was Zabuza." Suddenly, Zabuza attacked Sasuke, throwing him aside and hitting him hard in the stomach. He pinned Sasuke down with his foot. Naruto used the shadow clone jutsu and tried to attack Zabuza, but Zabuza easily got rid of all the clones. Then, out of nowhere, Naruto threw a weapon to Sasuke. Sasuke caught the shuriken Naruto had thrown to him and flung it at Zabuza. The shuriken avoided the clone and headed for Zabuza's real body. Behind it was another shuriken. Zabuza jumped to avoid it, but suddenly, that second shuriken transformed into Naruto, who attacked him. Naruto attacked Zabuza, managed to wound him, and freed Kakashi. Zabuza got very angry and tried to attack Naruto, but Kakashi blocked the strike. Kakashi said to Naruto, "Your plan is very interesting. You've really grown up." Naruto replied, "I just wanted to save you, but I saved you and managed to kill the water clone, so that's a big success." Sakura said, "This is the result of teamwork." Zabuza said, "I cancelled the clone technique myself." Kakashi replied, "No, they defeated you, and your technique won't work on me again." Zabuza jumped and tried to use a technique, and Kakashi stood there copying the exact same technique. Water dragons appeared, and they started attacking each other. Sasuke said he was able to replicate the same seal at the exact same time. "Master Kakashi is truly amazing." Kakashi and Zabuza stood fighting. Zabuza thought, how could he perform the technique at the exact same time? At that moment, someone was standing on a tree branch, watching everything that was happening. Kakashi started mimicking all of Zabuza's moves at the same time and said, "What's strange about me copying you? I can read your thoughts." Suddenly, Kakashi created a clone that looked like Zabuza and attacked Zabuza with a very strong water attack. The entire area around them got flooded. Kakashi attacked Zabuza with his shurikens and said, "It's over." Zabuza asked, "How can you do that? Do you have the ability to see the future?" Kakashi replied, "Yes, and you're going to die now." Suddenly, Zabuza found someone else had killed him. Turned out it was the person who was watching them. Zabuza fell to the ground. Kakashi went to check if Zabuza was really dead and saw the strange person saying, "Thank you. I was waiting for the opportunity to kill Zabuza." Kakashi said, "That mask means you're a hunter from Kirigakure village." The person replied, "Exactly." Sakura said, "Hunters are people who chase the rogue ninja from their village, like Zabuza. As soon as they leave the village, they are pursued and killed to keep the village's secrets." The person said, "Yes, my mission is to chase people like Zabuza." Kakashi thought his height and voice suggest he's Naruto's age, but he's not just an ordinary kid. The person disappeared from there, taking Zabuza's body with him. Naruto got very upset and said, "How can someone our age be so much stronger than us?" Kakashi grabbed him and made him stand up, saying, "You need to get stronger, and then you'll be able to defeat people like him." Kakashi told his team, "Our mission isn't over yet. We need to get Mr. Tazuna home." Just as Kakashi was about to turn to move, he suddenly collapsed to the ground. They took Kakashi to Tazuna's house, and Kakashi said, "It's clear that I overused my Sharingan." Sakura told him, "Your eye is amazing, but don't use it too much so you don't exhaust your strength. I still haven't figured out who that boy who suddenly appeared was." Kakashi replied, "He's a member of the Hunter Nin squad. When a ninja betrays his village or dies, he has secrets about the village. That's why they have to kill him or dispose of his body to prevent anyone from extracting information from it. For example, if I died, an investigation would be conducted on my Sharingan, and all my techniques could be stolen. That's why my body needs to be disposed of in a specific way, which means they they are very well-trained hunters. Meanwhile, the boy who carried Zabuza was sitting next to his body. Suddenly, Zabuza woke up and said, "Good thing you were able to save me. But what were you planning while wearing that mask?" The boy took off his mask and said, "If I hadn't saved you, you'd be dead by now." Zabuza replied, "If you wanted me dead, you didn't need to target my neck." The boy said, "I delayed the neck because it's easier. Normally, the drug I gave you would prevent you from moving for a week, but you'll be able to move quickly." Zabuza said, "Next time, I must deal with the Sharingan from the start." On the other side, Kakashi was lying in his bed and said, "Although Zabuza is dead, I feel a strange feeling. Could it be that I was tricked?" Kakashi told his team, "I remembered something. Hunter Nin analyzed the body at the same place where they found it, but that boy took Zabuza with him. If he needed proof that he killed him, he could have taken his head. Also, the weapon he used to kill him was metal needles, which means Zabuza could still be alive. I checked to make sure he was dead, but those metal needles have a weak killing ability and were mainly used for treatment. At the same time, hunters are very well trained in this, but that boy had difficulty moving Zabuza's body. It's clear that the boy wanted to save Zabuza, not kill him." Sakura asked, "What will we do now? You're injured and can't move easily." Kakashi replied, "I'll start training you. You managed to save me in the battle and are developing very quickly, especially Naruto." Suddenly, they saw a small boy, Tazuna's grandson, saying, "You have no chance. It's better if you run away." He left and Naruto followed him. Naruto looked through the door and saw him holding a picture and crying, then left him alone. The next day, Kakashi gathered them for training and started explaining how to use chakra. He said, "You don't know how to use your full chakra capacity. To do that, you need to combine your internal and external strength. Otherwise, it's a waste of energy. You need to learn how to control your power, but it will be a difficult training, which is tree climbing. You will climb trees without using your hands." Kakashi approached a tree and walked on it easily, saying, "If you focus your power on the lower part of your feet and stick them to the tree, you can climb it easily." The goal of this training is to be able to place chakra exactly where it's needed. The amount of chakra you use to climb trees is very precise. If you succeed in this training, you'll be able to master chakra control. He threw them a kunai and said, "Use it to mark the spot you can climb on the tree. At first, try running instead of walking, as it will make it easier for you." The three started their training. Naruto and Sasuke failed, but Sakura successfully climbed the tree with ease. Meanwhile, Zabuza was resting when the person who assigned him the mission entered. He said, "You are very weak," and tried to mock him, but the boy stopped him and said, "I am very angry right now, so you better leave." The next day, Tazuna resumed building the bridge in the city, with Sakura sitting there to protect him. Tazuna found one of the workers saying, "Allow me to leave the bridge construction. I've supported you for a long time, but if we continue like this, Gato won't leave us alone. If you die, we will lose everything. My advice to you is to leave the bridge and start thinking of something else." Tazuna replied, "I have no other choice. This is the village's bridge, and I will finish it even if I have to sacrifice my life." Then they went for a walk in the city, and Sakura saw the village suffering from extreme poverty. Tazuna told her, "This poverty will end if we manage to build the bridge, and the town will return to its former glory." By the end of the day, Naruto and Sasuke were exhausted from the training, and both had reached the same point on the tree. Naruto remembered the advice Sakura had given him, telling him not to get nervous when using chakra. Just as he was about to apply her advice, Sasuke called out to him and asked, "Didn't Sakura give you some tips? What did she—" Naruto told him the advice, and they headed home to eat. The competition between Naruto and Sasuke was fierce even during meals. While they were sitting, Sakura asked, "Why is there a torn picture hanging here?" Tazuna explained, the person in the torn picture was known as the town's hero. Before he could continue, Inari got up and left, and his mother followed to check on him. Tazuna continued, that hero was Inari's father. Inari was very happy back then, but he changed after the incident that happened to his father. It wasn't just him who changed, the whole town did. His name was Kaiza. On a rainy day, the dam in the village broke, and Kaiza tried to save the situation. Since then, everyone in the village was happy and proud of Kaiza. But when Gato arrived, he started torturing Kaiza because he tried to stand up to him and killed him in public in front of everyone. Since then, Inari changed a lot. Before Tazuna could finish his story, Naruto got up and tried to move but collapsed from exhaustion. He tried to stand up again and said, "I will prove to Inari that heroes exist in the world." The next day, Naruto was in the forest, chest, lying on the ground from exhaustion. The child who was with Zabuza stood beside him, wanting to kill him, but decided to wake him up instead. Naruto woke up and saw a beautiful girl in front of him. He asked, "Who are you?" She replied, "I'm here to gather herbs." Naruto got up and started helping her collect herbs, telling her, "I'm in the forest training to become stronger because I want to be the strongest ninja in my village and make everyone acknowledge my strength." The child remembered when he was young, scavenging for food from the trash, and how he met Zabuza, who took him in and saved his life. He told Naruto, "It's clear that there's someone precious to you in your life because when you have someone important, you try to become strong to protect them." As he walked away, he added, "I forgot to tell you something. I'm a boy, not a girl." Later, Sakura and Kakashi went to meet Naruto and found him at the top of the tree, having successfully climbed it. He was about to fall from exhaustion, but Sasuke caught him. Naruto and Sasuke continued their training throughout the night and returned home for dinner. Tazuna told them, "We're almost done with the bridge, but I have a question for you. Why did you continue the mission even though I lied to you?" Kakashi replied, "Our previous Hokage taught us never to abandon the weak." Inari remembered his father, who had died, and started crying. He asked, "Why do you care so much about this? There's no way you can stand against Gato. Even if you train, it won't help. The weak always lose to the truly strong." Naruto shouted, "Shut up, I'm not like you. You cry all day long, just a crybaby," and left the table. Inari went out to sit alone, and Kakashi approached him, saying, "Naruto didn't mean what he said. We heard your story from Tazuna. Naruto didn't have a father when he was born. In fact, he doesn't know his father or mother and has only one friend. But he never felt sad or cried. He always tried his hardest so people would recognize his strength, and he always risks his life for his dream. That's why he understands your true suffering. What he told you at dinner, he's probably told himself more than 1,000,000 times." The next day, Naruto was sleeping from exhaustion while everyone else went to continue building the bridge. At the same time, Zabuza had regained all his strength and told the child with him, whose name is Haku, "Now we can move," and they took a boat to the bridge. Naruto woke up and started running quickly to catch up with them. When Tazuna arrived at the bridge, he found all the workers lying on the ground. Meanwhile, Gato's soldiers had reached Inari's house. The fog thickened, and Kakashi and his team gathered to protect Tazuna. They heard Zabuza say, "I'm sorry to keep you waiting, but none of you have changed, and even the little boy with you is still trembling." Suddenly, many clones of Zabuza appeared around them. Sasuke said, "I'm trembling with excitement, not fear," and managed to kill all the clones. Zabuza remarked, "It seems he has improved a lot," and told Haku, "Now you have a rival." Haku began attacking Sasuke, and at the same time, Gato's soldiers broke into Tazuna's house. They tried to take his daughter hostage and wanted to kill Inari, but his mother told them if they killed him, she would kill herself, and they wouldn't be able to take her hostage. They left him and took his mother instead. Inari started crying, saying he was just a weak person. He remembered Naruto and Kakashi's words, and he recalled his father's death. He wiped the tears from his eyes and ran after Gato's men. He was about to attack them, but they almost killed him. However, he turned into a tree trunk, and Naruto saved him and his mother, saying, "I'm sorry I'm late." He told Inari, "I'm very proud of you. You've become strong and managed to save your mother." Inari asked, "How did you know they were here?" Naruto replied, "I found a torn pig in the forest, which led me here. That's why I decided to come back." Naruto used the shadow clone technique and managed to defeat them. Meanwhile, Sasuke was fighting Haku, and Kakashi told Sakura to guard Tazuna. Haku said to Sasuke, "I didn't want to kill you, but it seems you're not going to back down. But you can't keep up with my speed. I'm 2 steps ahead of you now because there's water on the ground, and you've lost control of your hand." He noticed Sasuke using hand seals with just one hand and commented, "I've never seen anyone make seals with one hand before." Haku turned all the water on the ground into sharp needles. Sasuke remembered his training and suddenly jumped before the needles could hit him. He told Haku, "Now you're the one who will be on the defensive," and began attacking him, managing to land a hit. Kakashi said, "You underestimated Sasuke's strength. He's the top student of his class, and when he meets Naruto, you'll be amazed by his incredible power." On the other side, Naruto had captured Gato's men and said to Inari, "I apologize for what I said about you yesterday. You've become strong now." He added, "I'll leave you now and head to the bridge," and started running as fast as he could. There, Zabuza told Haku, "You must defeat Sasuke." Haku began gathering energy around him and surrounded Sasuke with ice mirrors. Haku entered the mirrors and appeared as a reflection in each one. Kakashi tried to intervene, but Zabuza blocked him, saying, "I am your opponent." Haku started attacking attacking Sasuke from all directions, and Sasuke couldn't do anything. Sakura ran to help him and threw a kunai at him, but Haku caught it before it reached him. Suddenly, Haku was struck and knocked out of the mirrors, revealing that Naruto had appeared from the kunai. Naruto said to them, "Now that I'm here, everything will end." Haku recalled their first meeting in the forest. Naruto attempted to use shadow clones, but Zabuza threw metal needles at them. Before they could hit, Haku threw shuriken at the needles, stopping them. Kakashi warned Naruto, "Don't perform techniques in front of the enemy again. You could have easily died." He thought to himself, why did Haku save him? Zabuza asked Haku, "What did you just do?" Haku replied, "This battle is mine, and I'll fight it my way." Sasuke noted that despite being attacked multiple times, none of the needles targeted his vital points to kill him. He suspected Haku was trying to torture him instead. Kakashi thought, Naruto won't be able to stand against him. I need to try to save him. However, Zabuza blocked him, saying, "Have you forgotten me again? If you move from here, the old man behind you will die." Kakashi realized, if I move, Tazuna will die, and Sakura can't protect him alone. Naruto said to Haku, "You deceived us all the first time you appeared." Haku replied, "I'm sorry, but as your teacher said, deception is a basic principle of shinobi." Sasuke tried to attack him, but Haku easily dodged. Haku told Sasuke, "Don't worry, I haven't forgotten you. I'll deal with you first, then I'll handle Naruto." He re-entered the ice mirrors and began moving between them, attacking Sasuke again. Naruto exclaimed, "What technique is he using?" He managed to pierce Sasuke's body with a simple attack. Sasuke thought there must be a clone hiding in the mirrors. They all throw needles at the same time, but I doubt they're real clones. These mirrors are a trick. They are the key to attacking from all directions. Sasuke concluded, if I attack from inside and Naruto from outside, we might be able to break this technique. But when he looked, he saw Naruto beside him, saying, "I came to save you." Sasuke got angry. "Think before you act. Now we're both trapped." Sasuke said, "I have no other choice. Since these mirrors are made of ice, fire should affect them." He used a fire technique, but the flames disappeared quickly. Haku remarked, "This level of fire won't affect anything," and launched a needle attack on both of them. Naruto said, "I need to find the real clone. There must be a real person among them." Haku responded, "Don't bother trying. You won't succeed." Naruto used the shadow clone technique and attacked all the mirrors simultaneously, but Haku destroyed them and threw Naruto to the ground. Kakashi thought, "I understand the technique now. It's called Kekkei Genkai. It's like my Sharingan inherited within a specific clan. I can't replicate this technique, and there's no way to destroy it." Naruto became frustrated, saying, "I won't die here. I have a dream to achieve first. I'll make everyone in the village acknowledge my strength. My dream is to become Hokage." Haku remembered his past when Zabuza found him and said, "A child like you will die in the snow without ever achieving a dream or freedom." Haku had replied, "Your eyes are just like my brother's." Haku said to them, "Now I understand being a shinobi. If I can, I won't try to kill you, and I don't want you to kill me. But if you try to kill me, I'll have to abandon my emotions. This bridge connects our dreams, whether mine or yours. I hope you won't resent me. I'm trying to protect someone dear to me, and I'll fight to achieve that dream. That's why I must kill you here." Sakura told them, "Don't lose here," and Kakashi said, "Even if we have a chance to break this technique, they still won't be able to defeat him." Zabuza laughed, saying, "In truth, they don't have the ability to kill anyone. But Haku knows how to kill easily. He's different from Naruto and Sasuke. No one in your village will become a true shinobi because you're a peaceful village. They won't learn until they experience killing themselves." Kakashi thought, if I try to save them, Tazuna will be in danger. If I use shadow clones, he'll stop me with water clones, and it'll just waste chakra. He told Zabuza, "We need to finish our fight now." Before Kakashi could use his Sharingan, Zabuza rushed and tried to strike his eye, but Kakashi blocked it with his hand, saying, "It seems you're very afraid of the Sharingan. My secret technique has never been shown to anyone more than once except for you, and there won't be a third time." Zabuza replied, "Even if you can defeat me, you won't be able to defeat Haku. Since he was a child, I taught him ninja battle techniques. He trained in all techniques, his own abilities and mine. He always succeeded in any fight easily. He has no heart and has abandoned the concept of life. He's a fighting machine and even stronger than me, unlike the children you bring with you." Meanwhile, Naruto was trying to attack Haku the same way again, but failed and got attacked along with Sasuke. Sasuke said, "I could see part of his movements and saw Naruto trying again." Sasuke threw some water from the ground up, saying, "I could see his path, but he's very fast. I can find the real body's location in his next move." Zabuza stood in front of Kakashi, saying, "Last time you defeated me, Haku was hiding fighting and watching everything. He could observe your fight and learn its weaknesses. I learned them from him too, so everything you did in the last battle won't work now. Zabuza used his technique and disappeared, increasing the fog around them. Kakashi told Sakura, protect Tazuna and stay by his side. Sakura said, I need to trust them, and stood in front of Tazuna, telling him not to move away from her. Naruto tried to use the same technique again, and when he attacked, Sasuke used the fire technique multiple times, saying, I managed to hit his clothes, and each time I'm pinpointing the path more accurately. Kakashi was puzzled by the dense fog, thinking, I know Zabuza can see in the fog, but with this much, it's impossible even for him to move. He dodged shuriken thrown at him. Zabuza appeared behind him, eyes closed, saying, next time you see me, it'll be the end. You've used the Sharingan too much. You told me before you see the future, but you were wrong then. You can't read my mind or the future. The Sharingan just creates an illusion making you believe that. The Sharingan gives you limited power and moves very fast, so you could copy my moves and perform them simultaneously to confuse me with your strength. Then you focus on the heartbeat and trap me in an illusion before attacking. But now I'm hidden in the fog, and your eyes are useless. I'll close my eyes to prevent you from trapping me in illusions. Kakashi said, that means you can't see either. Zabuza replied, did you forget my name? I master silent killing and can locate targets by sound alone, meaning you can't do anything against me. At the same time, Haku was trying to attack. Sasuke told Naruto, get out of here quickly and attack from the outside. Naruto tried to escape but couldn't. He tried again and Sasuke used the fire technique, but Haku stopped him and attacked Naruto, then returned to the mirrors. Sasuke said, that's exactly what I wanted. He told Naruto they'd try again, thinking there must be a limit to his chakra. Naruto tried again, but Haku said, this won't happen again, attacking Sasuke first, then Naruto. Neither of them could react. Outside, Kakashi was thinking, I wasn't ready for such a strong fight, but I need to stay calm and think. Where will he attack from this time? Suddenly, he remembered Sakura and Tazuna, running quickly to protect them from Zabuza's attack. Sakura screamed at what she saw. Sasuke heard her voice and thought, I wonder what's happening to them outside. I hope they're okay. I have to do something. He saw Naruto getting up from the ground and said, we need to act. Naruto started gathering chakra around him and tried to get out of the place. Before reaching the end, he was pulled back and started running again, but Haku chased him and managed to strike him. Sasuke told him, try not to waste your energy because you're making it easier for him to defeat us. He thought, if we continue like this, we'll lose easily. We need to find another way quickly before we die. He stood up, saying, my eyes have gotten used to his movements, took a needle from the ground, and blocked Haku's attack. He started dodging his attacks and tried to save Naruto. Haku was very surprised, saying, what's happening? How is he blocking the attacks so easily? Suddenly, Sasuke disappeared from the place and told Naruto, I can't protect you any longer. He saw Naruto faint from exhaustion and Haku attacking again. Sasuke tried to calm himself, and as soon as Haku attacked, he took Naruto and escaped quickly. Haku noticed Sasuke's eyes turning red and said, that must be the Sharingan, meaning he's from a special clan. But it seems his eyes are not fully developed, meaning it's his first time using them. It's impressive he awakened his power during battle, but I can't prolong this fight any longer. I need to end it quickly so he doesn't read my moves, but he already knows the basic moves, so I can't attack him directly. In this case, I'll use Naruto as bait. He quickly attacked Naruto. At the same time, Kakashi blocked Zabuza's attack and got seriously injured. Zabuza said, you were late to protect yourself because you prioritized protecting your comrades first. You can't determine my movements due to the fog, despite your incredible ability. Your movements are slowing down over time. You've entertained me in this fight. At any moment now, Haku will kill those kids with him, and from behind, I'll kill you. He disappeared into the fog again. Sakura said, Sasuke surely won't lose, and Kakashi replied, yes, I trust their strength. Naruto is very determined, and Sasuke is from the strongest clan in the village, the Uchiha clan, and possesses the Sharingan eyes. He's a genius ninja. Zabuza was shocked and said, is he the only surviving child from them? That explains why he's developing so quickly. But the same applies to Haku. No one has ever beaten his secret technique until now. He saw Kakashi running toward him and thought, I need to end this fight. Naruto woke up from his fainting and saw Haku lying on the ground with Sasuke standing, bleeding. He was shocked by what he saw and asked, why did you protect me? Sasuke replied, I don't know, remembering their moments together, and said, Naruto, I used to hate you, and I didn't want to help you, but my body moved on its own. He collapsed from exhaustion, but Naruto caught him, saying, I didn't ask you to help me. Why did you do that? Sasuke said, I had to do it so I can kill my brother. I refused to die, and you must not die now either. He closed closed his eyes and fainted. Naruto began to cry and saw Haku in front of him. Haku said, even though Sasuke knew it was a trap, he decided to save you because you're dear to him. He decided to save you. He's a shinobi worthy of respect. This must be the first time your friend died by your hand, but this is the shinobi way. Naruto left him on the ground, saying, even though I hate you too, I won't let you die like this. A lot of smoke began to appear around him, and he told Haku, I won't forgive you. A massive amount of chakra surrounded him, and he transformed into a wolf-like shape. The energy filled the entire area, surprising Haku. The energy turned into a giant orange wolf shape, and Naruto's wounds began to heal. Everyone felt the immense energy and was astonished. Kakashi felt the same sensation as the Nine-Tails chakra and said, it seems Naruto's seal has broken. Naruto started running toward Haku. Haku tried to stop him, but his strength was beyond imagination. He managed to attack Haku easily. Kakashi felt the wolf's presence lifting, thinking, this must be just an energy surge. He took out a scroll and sealed it with his blood, saying to Zabuza, I know you can hear me, but we need to settle this fight now. Suddenly, Naruto struck Haku in the face, breaking the prison they were in. Haku's mask fell off, and just as Naruto was about to attack again, he stopped when he saw Haku's face. He reverted to his normal form, saying to Haku, aren't you the one I met in the forest? Haku asked, why didn't you kill me, even though I killed your dear friend? But Naruto hit him and threw him to the ground. Haku asked, where did your strength go? Wasn't Sasuke dear to you? Don't pity me. I've experienced worse. Do you know the feeling of not being needed by anyone? You'll live with pain every day, without any dream. Naruto asked, why are you following Zabuza, even though you know he kills innocent people for money? Is there no one important in your life besides him? Haku replied, when I was born, I lived with my parents in a poor village, and I was very happy then. But as I grew older, my father killed my mother and then tried to kill me after a civil war broke out. People became afraid of those with special abilities like mine, as these abilities were passed down through families and used in wars. That's why people were upset with us. After the war ended, those with special abilities hid because if they were discovered, they would be killed. I'm sure Sasuke faced the same hardship. The more your special ability increases, the more people fear you. My mother suffered because of her power, but she hid it and tried to live with my father. However, he discovered our secret and then tried to kill me, but the opposite happened. I managed to escape from there, and since then, I knew my existence didn't matter to anyone. You told me you're trying to become the strongest in your village so people acknowledge you. Imagine if you met someone who loved you as you are and didn't want you to change. That person would be the most important to you. For me, that person was Zabuza. When everyone else hated me, he was the only one who loved me. He took me from my poverty, and I was very happy then. I became a tool under Zabuza's hand. I'm very sorry to you because I wasn't the right tool you were looking for. He went to Naruto and said, I want you to kill me. At the same time, Kakashi finished sealing his scroll and used his technique. Zabuza said, whatever you're doing now, you don't know my location, but I know yours. Suddenly, dogs emerged from the ground and attacked him. Kakashi stood in front of him and said, I deliberately let you wound me twice to mark my blood on your weapons. That way, I could summon ninja dogs who would use the scent to find you. Now there's nothing you can do. Your death is certain. You had high ambitions, failed to assassinate the Mizuki, left your village and fled, forming a gang of ninjas. You must need money now, which is why you're working with Gato. But I won't defeat you using the Sharingan. I'll use my primary technique. He generated intense electricity around his hand, saying, this technique is called Raikiri. Chakra began to flow into his hand, and he said to Zabuza, your ambition will kill you now. This bridge we're standing on represents the entire village's ambition. Zabuza replied, I don't care about any ambition other than my own, which will never change. Kakashi said, I'll tell you one last time, surrender for your own good, because now you'll die easily. On the other side, Naruto told Haku, what nonsense are you talking about? Why are you just a tool in Zabuza's hand? Haku replied, what's wrong with that? Zabuza cared for me when I had no value and made me feel important. Now that I've lost to you, there's no reason for me to stay alive. Zabuza doesn't need me anymore, which is why I'm asking you to kill me quickly. At the same time, Inari was going around the village, knocking on doors, trying to get people to join him in helping Naruto and his team, but to no avail. Everyone refused, unwilling to fight because they believed the outcome was already decided. But Inari refused to give up and told them, we have to fight with all our might. I learned that I can't gain anything if I keep crying, so we must keep resisting. He left one house and ran to another, where the person inside stood behind the door. His wife said to him, Inari has grown up so much. Will you let him go alone? Go with him and help him. Inari continued knocking on other doors, but no one answered. At the bridge, Naruto told Haku, you need to be strong to live in this world, and you need to have a goal beyond fighting. Haku replied, I I remember when we first met in the forest. I thought we were very similar. I'm sure you understand what I mean. I'm sorry your hand got stained with my blood, but this is the only way. Naruto said, I wish we had met under different circumstances. We could have been friends. He grabbed his kunai and started running towards Haku, thinking Sasuke had his dreams too, but suddenly Haku blocked him, saying, forgive me, I can't die now, and swiftly escaped, standing in front of Zabuza to take Kakashi's attack himself. Everyone was shocked by what they saw. Zabuza laughed and said to Kakashi, you were wrong again when you said I would die now. In the village, Inari put on his clothes and decided to go to the bridge alone since everyone else refused to join him. He took some arrows, said goodbye to his mother, and walked out the door, only to find all the villagers around him, telling him they would go with him. Meanwhile, the fog was gradually lifting. Naruto ran to see what was happening with Kakashi and found Haku lying in a pool of his own blood. Kakashi said, I didn't expect him to sacrifice himself like this. He's truly dead now. Zabuza grabbed his sword and said to Haku, even in death, you gave me a great opportunity. He took his sword and tried to attack them, but Kakashi dodged, carrying Haku away and leaving him on the ground, saying to Naruto, don't come closer. This is my fight. When Sakura saw Naruto, she asked him about Sasuke, but Naruto started crying. She grabbed Zabuza and ran to Sasuke, finding him lying dead on the ground, his body cold. Sakura began to cry. Zabuza struggled against Kakashi but couldn't do anything. Kakashi grabbed him by the neck, saying, you can't defeat me with your current strength. He took out his kunai to kill him, but Zabuza swung his sword, forcing Kakashi to jump back to avoid the strike. He looked around and saw Gato standing nearby with a large group of samurai. Zabuza asked, what brought you here? The other person replied, the plan changed a bit and I'm very sorry, but you're going to die here. Kakashi injured both your hands and you won't be able to make any hand signs. From the moment I made a deal with you, I've been paying you a lot, so it's better if you die. You don't deserve the title of the demon of the hidden mist village. He started laughing at him. Zabuza then said to Kakashi, I think our fight is over since I no longer have any reason to kill Tazuna. He looked over and saw Gato kicking Haku's body, saying, this boy tried to break my arm before. Naruto got very angry, but Kakashi stopped him. Naruto asked Zabuza, wasn't Haku your friend? Didn't you live together for a long time? Why don't you try to save him? Zabuza replied, Haku is dead now. The truth is, Gato tried to use me and I used Haku. I told you before, we shinobi are just tools. All I wanted from him was his strength, not his personal life, so I don't feel any regret. Naruto responded, Haku loved you. He considered you the most important person in his life. Do you really feel nothing for him? He even sacrificed his entire life for you. He didn't achieve any of his own dreams before he died. Dying as just a tool is a painful feeling. Zabuza started to cry and said, I don't want to hear another word from you. Haku always thought of me, and he felt pain when he fought you. I know he was very kind, and I'm glad we fought you in the end and lost to you. He then said to Naruto, give me your kunai. He held it in his mouth, charged at Gato's men, and killed them one by one. Then, he ran towards Gato and killed him, saying, I'm looking forward to meeting you in hell. He used the kunai to cut himself even more and then threw it from his mouth. He tried to move toward Haku, saying, thank you for everything. I'm sorry, and fell dead on the ground. At that same moment, Sasuke began to feel alive again, and he opened his eyes to find Sakura sitting next to him, crying. She cried even more when she saw his eyes open. He stood up and asked her, what happened in the fight? She replied, they both died. Naruto looked behind him and saw Sasuke standing and waving at him. Just as Naruto was about to wave back, Gato's men started attacking them. Before they could get close, Inari and the villagers arrived, and Naruto and Kakashi used shadow clones to help them. But Gato's men all fled from the scene. The villagers were happy with what happened. Kakashi went to Zabuza and found him still alive. Zabuza asked, I want to make one last request. Let me see Haku's face. Kakashi carried Haku and placed him beside Zabuza, leaving them together. Later, they were both buried side by side, and the villagers finished building the bridge. Kakashi and Team 7 left the village after successfully completing their mission. Naruto returned to his daily life, woke up, had breakfast, and set off for his new mission. He went to meet Sakura and Sasuke, and as soon as he saw Sasuke, he turned his face away. Sakura remarked that both of them had been acting strange since they returned from the last mission. They were all waiting for their teacher, Kakashi, who was very late. When he finally arrived, Naruto exclaimed, I'm excited for the new mission, and looked at Sasuke, thinking to himself, I won't let him beat me this time. I'll be the one to save him on today's mission. Kakashi took them on the new mission, which was removing weeds, followed by cleaning the river. In each task, Sasuke kept rescuing Naruto from the problems he caused. Naruto was very annoyed by Sasuke's actions, and Kakashi noted that the team's cooperation had significantly decreased. Naruto said, Sasuke is the reason. He always acts like he's more important than me. Sasuke replied, that's the truth. If you want to beat me, you have to become stronger than me. He thought to himself, there are many people stronger than me. The last mission made me look foolish. He then said, I'm going home, and walked away. Sakura ran after him and asked, what do you think about us cooperating in the team? He replied, you're just like Naruto, no difference. If you have free time, you should train on fighting because, in reality, your abilities are less than even Naruto's. Suddenly, while they were standing, Kakashi disappeared, and a strange rock appeared behind Naruto and started moving towards him. He turned around and said, there's no rock like this. Who are you and why are you following me? From the rock appeared Konohamaru and his friends, and they introduced themselves. Naruto asked, do you guys need something from me? The girl asked, are you free now? He said, no, I have training. Konohamaru said, you told me you would train us on ninja techniques today. Naruto thought, if I train with them, they'll train with me every day, which will delay me even more. He saw Sakura next to him, looking at him strangely. Konohamaru said, she must be your ninja girlfriend. But before he could finish his sentence, Sakura hit them all and left the place. Konohamaru stood up and said, that girl has a very big forehead. He looked and saw Sakura had heard him and started running after him. Konohamaru ran in the opposite direction but bumped into two people who were clearly not from Konoha. Meanwhile, Kakashi was submitting a report about the missions they had completed and met Irika there, who was excited to see Naruto. Kakashi told him, Naruto is in a team with Sasuke, and he sees him as a rival, which is why he is training and his abilities are improving significantly. Before he could finish, he noticed a bird in the sky making a sound. All of Naruto's friends from the academy heard the same bird, which was a signal for everyone to gather. Meanwhile, Konohamaru was grabbed by the second person who tried to hit him. Sakura told them, he surely didn't mean to bump into you. Thinking to herself, who are these two people? Naruto was very annoyed and tried to run to attack, but he fell to the ground easily. The person said, Konoha genin are weaker than I thought, and I hate rude people. I wish I could destroy them all. He was about to hit Konohamaru, but a rock was thrown at him from afar. The one who threw it was Sasuke, who said, how about you leave them and continue on your way? The person replied, how about you come down and face me? I'll show you my true power. He was about to use his weapon, but suddenly a strange person appeared behind Sasuke and said, you always embarrass our village. Sasuke thought, how did he manage to come behind me without me sensing him? At the same time, all the team leaders gathered at the Hokage's place, who told them, I have gathered you here to inform you about the test. We have notified all the neighboring villages, and some of them have already started coming to the village. In 1 week, the Chunin exams for all the students will begin. At the same time, Sasuke was saying, this guy's eyes are filled with intense hatred, and he found him telling the person with him, named Kankuro, don't cause any more trouble here. If you say another word, I'll kill you now. He looked at Sasuke and said, this boy is amazing. He managed to hit Kankuro with the rock effortlessly. He moved away from the other two and saw Sakura stopping him, saying, from the headbands you're wearing, it's clear that you're from Sunagakure village. Our villages are supposed to be allies, but there's a treaty preventing ninjas from entering any other village without permission. So, what are your purposes for being here? The other girl said, it's obvious you don't know anything, and showed them her permit, saying, we are Sunagakure genin, and we came here to take the Chunin exam. Naruto asked, what's this exam? Konohamaru explained, it's the exam that, when you pass, you get promoted in rank and become a Chunin. Before the Sand Village genin left, Sasuke asked their leader, I want to know your name. He replied, my name is Gaara of the Sand. What's your name? Sasuke said, my name is Uchiha Sasuke. Sasuke thought to himself, it seems the excitement is starting now. At the same time, there were others watching them, and their leader told them, keep an eye on Sasuke and Gaara, as they seem very strong. Meanwhile, in the Hokage's office, he was asking all the Jonin leaders, who do you want to nominate from your team? They must have completed more than 8 official missions. Kakashi started and said, I nominate my entire team for the exam. Irika was shocked by what he heard. Kurenai said, I am the leader of Team 8, and I nominate all my team members. Behind her, Asuma, the leader of Team 10, also nominated his entire team. Everyone present was surprised that they nominated all the students. Irika said, wait, I was responsible for the 9 names nominated, and I admit they are indeed talented students, but it's still too early for them. They need to gain more experience before taking the exam. Kakashi replied, I became a Chunin when I was 6 years old. I was younger than Naruto is now. Irika said, Naruto is different from you. Surely you want to crush him. Kakashi said, they always asked for harder missions, and they will surely be happy to take the exam. I won't spoil their fun. I understand what you're trying to say, and I'm sure you're saying this because you're worried about them, but I hope you stay out of it because they are no longer your students. They are mine now. Before Irika could speak, the Hokage stopped him and said, I understand your point, which is why I have decided to hold a preliminary exam before the main exam. The next day, Kakashi went to meet his team, and for the millionth time, he was late. He told them, I I know it will be a surprise for you, but I have nominated you for the Chunin exam. Here are your permits. This exam is not mandatory, so if any of you don't want to take it, there's no problem. If you want to take the exam, go to the academy in 5 days to sign the permit. Naruto was very happy and started imagining himself defeating Sasuke and Kankuro and becoming the Hokage afterward. Sasuke, on the other hand, was thinking about Gaara and was very excited to fight him, while Sakura was thinking to herself, my strength is very weak compared to them, and I don't know if I can compete with them or not. Ninjas from all villages began to arrive in Konoha village. The next day, Naruto was walking in the village and saw Konohamaru and his friends. Before he could greet them, a ninja from another village appeared behind them, grabbed the girl, and ran away. Naruto ran after them quickly, with Konohamaru and his friend following behind, but Naruto outpaced them quickly. He managed to catch up, seeing the girl tied to a tree with a kunai on her. The person said, if you move, I'll kill this girl. Naruto asked, what is your goal? He replied, I want the first Hokage's scroll. If you bring it to me, I'll let her go. Naruto said, what if I refuse? Suddenly, he used the substitution technique and managed to save her, then used the shadow clone technique to catch him. However, the person also used the substitution technique and escaped. Meanwhile, Sakura was crying over Sasuke's injury, and the person said to her, if you don't want to die like him, it's better to withdraw from the Chunin exam. Sakura stood up and said, do you think I'm stupid? Sasuke would never ask me to go for a walk. I know you used the clone technique, but a simple technique like that won't work on me. He attacked her, but she stood her ground, revealing that the attack was just an illusion. He started laughing and left her alone. At the same time, the same person appeared before Sasuke, but he defeated him easily. The person went to Kakashi, revealing himself to be Irika, who was testing all the students. He told Kakashi, just as you said, their skills have improved a lot, but the Chunin exam will definitely be harder. The next day, the entire 7th team gathered in front of the school. Sasuke thought to himself, it seems something happened to Sakura. They all entered to register for the exam, where they saw people standing in front of the gate, beating up students who wanted to enter, trying to make them withdraw. Sasuke approached them, saying, I don't have time to waste, and also, remove the illusion technique you're using, so we can go to the real room. The person tried to attack Sasuke, but a student stood between them. This student and his friends were from a higher grade than Naruto and Sasuke. Sasuke thought to himself, this boy is very skilled. He managed to stop the attack easily. They all moved to the upper floor, and Sasuke thought, it seems the Chunin exam will be full of monsters. Behind them, the other team was moving, which consisted of Gai-sensei's students. However, the person who stopped Sasuke's attack told them, I'm not going up to the exam right now, and followed Sasuke, saying, wait a moment, how about you fight me now? He introduced himself, my name is Rock Lee, and I know you, Uchiha Sasuke. I want to fight the last member of the genius Uchiha clan. He then said to Sakura, by the way, you are very beautiful, but Sakura couldn't stand him, and Naruto was annoyed that no one challenged him. They were all challenging Sasuke. Sasuke replied, good that you know me. I'll show you the power of the Uchiha name now. Suddenly, Naruto said, wait, I'm the one who will fight you, but Lee responded, I'm not interested in you. I want to fight the Uchiha kid. Naruto ran to attack him, but Lee easily blocked his attack with a simple move. Lee said to Sasuke, you won't be able to defeat me. I am the strongest genin in Konoha village. Sasuke smiled and said, but I will defeat you now. But notice Sakura telling him, there are only 30 minutes left until the registration for the exam ends. Sasuke quickly ran to attack Lee, but Lee easily struck him and threw him aside. Sakura was surprised and said, I'm sure Sasuke blocked his attack. Sasuke said, I don't understand what happened, and stood up again, activating his Sharingan, attacking Lee a second time. But Lee easily struck him again and said, the Sharingan won't help you against me because I don't use any ninja techniques. He began to attack him, saying, I only fight with my hands and feet and can't use any ninja techniques, so the Sharingan won't help you against me. He threw Sasuke away, spun behind him, and was about to attack him more when a turtle suddenly appeared and stopped him. Everyone was shocked by Sasuke's weakness against Lee. Lee stood in front of the turtle, and the turtle began. Gai-sensei, Kakashi's friend, appeared on top of the turtle and struck Lee, throwing him away. They both started crying and hugging each other, and everyone was puzzled by their strange behavior. Gai asked, how is Kakashi doing? Sasuke asked, how do you know him? Gai replied, I've known him for a long time. People in the village call us eternal rivals. Suddenly, Gai-sensei appeared behind them, saying, I have a record of 50 wins and 49 losses, which means I'm stronger than Kakashi. Sasuke was shocked by his speed and said, he's much faster than Kakashi. Is he really human? Is he really better than Kakashi? He saw Gai leave, and Lee said to Sasuke, I came here to know your strength, but I lied to you at the beginning. I'm not the best genin in the village. The best one is the other person in my team, and I joined the team to defeat him. You were one of my targets, so prepare well for the exam. Sasuke got very angry, and Naruto said, Lee is very strong. I saw his hand and it was all injured. It seems he does special training daily, more than what we do. Sasuke got even more upset and said, I'm now starting to take the Chunin exam seriously. They all went to register their names. As soon as they reached the room, they found Kakashi standing in front of them, saying, you three came to register your names, right? Actually, I registered you a while ago, but I told you to come here yourselves to ensure your consent. Naruto and Sasuke, I would have forced you into the exam, but Sakura, I was waiting for your approval, and I'm glad you came. I'm very proud of you. They opened the door and entered, finding everyone gathered inside. There were many ninjas, all applying for the exam. They met Team Ino, Shikamaru, and Choji, who were with them in school, as well as Team Hinata, Kiba, and Shino. They were the 9 genins nominated for the exam. Another person approached them, introducing himself. My name is Kabuto. It seems you recently graduated from the Ninja Academy. You should be a bit cautious in the exam. Sakura asked, is this your second time taking the exam? He replied, no, this is my 7th time. The exam is held twice a year, and this is my 4th year. Shikamaru said, but you haven't passed even once in 7 tries? Is the exam that difficult? Kabuto replied, I'll give you some information. He pulled out cards from his pocket, saying, these contain information about the exam. He placed a card on the ground and spun it, explaining, these show the number of ninjas from each village. The real purpose of the exam is for each village to gauge the level of the others to maintain the balance of power among nations. If this isn't done, stronger villages might attack and conquer weaker ones, causing many problems in the world. Sasuke asked, I want to know information about Gaara and Lee. Kabuto pulled out their data, saying, this is Lee's information, the number of missions he has completed, and this is his first time in the exam. His team members are Tenten and Hyuga Niji, who is from the same family as Hinata. As for Gaara, he is from the village of Sunagakure, and there is no precise information about him. The only known fact is that he returned from all missions without a single injury. Shikamaru was shocked, saying, he completes many B-level missions without any injuries? He must be very strong. Kabuto continued, I have information about all the ninja villages except for Otogakure, which means village hidden by sound. There is no information about this village because it was recently established. In any case, all the villages here are very strong, and the elite genins from each village were chosen, so this won't be easy for you. Meanwhile, Kakashi stood outside the exam venue, recalling Irika's words when he wanted to delay their entry into the exam and Guy's words when he said he delayed his team's entry for a year for more training. Kakashi thought, although I recommended them for the exam, Irika and Guy were right in their words. Inside, everyone was shocked by Kabuto's information, but Naruto was very excited and declared to everyone, my name is Uzumaki Naruto, and I won't lose to any of you. Among the crowd were ninjas from Otogakure, and their leader said, it seems that Kid is talking about us. We'll attack him and show him who Otogakure is. But in a brutal way, they began moving through the crowd, and Gaara and his friends noticed the movements. Suddenly, they all attacked Kabuto, but he managed to evade their strikes. Suddenly, Kabuto's glasses shattered, and he fell to the ground. He looked up to see his attacker saying, we are from Otogakure. Write down in your information that we are not a weak village. The 3 of us will pass the exam with ease. Sasuke said, I'm sure Kabuto managed to evade the attack, but what made him fall to the ground? Niji and Lee echoed the same thought. Suddenly, a jonin appeared, saying, I am responsible for your first test in the Chunin exam. My name is Ibiki. He told the ninjas from Otogakure, you are not allowed to act on your own, or you will be expelled from the exam. Fighting among you is not allowed during the exam. Even if I ask you to fight in the exam, you are not allowed to use anything that could result in the opponent's death. Anyone causing trouble will fail the exam. Now, the first stage will begin. Each of you will receive a number and sit in your designated place. This is a written test. All the students took their seats, and Naruto sat next to Hinata. She told him, I'm excited about the exam and hope we pass together. Ibiki began explaining the rules, saying that each question had a point value. The exam consisted of 10 questions, and the pass or fail would be determined by the total points of the entire team. If any of the supervisors noticed you cheating, 2 points would be deducted. If any team member scored 0, the entire team would fail. Everyone, including Naruto, was shocked. The test began, and everyone started trying to answer. Naruto didn't know anything, and the questions seemed nearly impossible to answer. Sasuke thought, the supervisors are very suspicious, and the questions have no clear answers. We can't cheat in the usual way, so they must be testing us on traditional cheating methods. This isn't a written test. It's a test of our abilities in stealth techniques. This means we need to try to cheat without being caught. I hope Naruto notices the real test, or we'll all fail. Since they're testing our cheating abilities, there must be someone among us who knows all the correct answers. All the students tried to cheat in different ways, but Naruto was the only one who couldn't do anything. He thought, if I try to cheat, I might fail. He looked at Hinata, who said, I'll tell you the answers. Naruto asked, why do you want to help me? She replied, I don't want you to fail this exam, blushing as she spoke. Just as Naruto was about to turn to see Hinata's answers, a kunai flew past him, barely missing him. One of the supervisors told the person behind him, you've made 5 mistakes, so you and your friends will be expelled from the exam. More people started failing the exam, and those who objected were beaten. Naruto looked at Hinata and said, if you try to help me, you won't pass. A great ninja like me won't rely on cheating. Time passed, and more people left. Ibiki said, 45 minutes have passed, and we have eliminated all the weak ninjas at the start. He then told them, now, I will tell you about the 10th question, which I have kept hidden from you since the beginning of the test. But first, you need to decide whether you actually want to answer this question or not. If you choose not to answer, your score will be 0, and your entire team will fail. If one of you chooses to answer the question but does not answer correctly, you will fail the test and will not be allowed to take the Chunin exam ever again. So, anyone who lacks confidence should withdraw and take the exam next year. Now, anyone who wants to leave should raise their hand. Naruto was very nervous, and people started raising their hands one by one. Sakura thought to herself, I'm worried about Naruto. He always wanted to be Hokage, but I'm sure he will fail to answer correctly. It's better if I withdraw. Just as she was about to raise her hand, she saw Naruto raise his hand instead. He stood up and said to Ibiki, I will never give up. Even if I remain a genin for the rest of my life, I will become Hokage no matter what. I am not afraid of any test, and I will never back down from my words. That is my ninja way. Ibiki said, the number of people left is quite large. I expected fewer to remain. He then told them, everyone in this room has passed the test. Sakura asked, what do you mean? He replied, you have all achieved the goal of the test. This was a test of your ability to gather information and your mental fortitude to endure and take risks. This means that everyone here has passed. Before he could finish speaking, a woman entered through the window and said, I am responsible for the second test, and my name is Anko. She looked at the number of people and said to Ibiki, it seems the test was easy, but don't worry. In the second test, their numbers will be reduced by half. They all left to go to the second test. All the students went to the location of the second test in the Chunin exams, and the place was extremely scary. Anko told them, this place is called the Forest of Death. Naruto said, I'm not scared at all. But before he could finish his words, Anko threw a kunai at him, grazing his cheek. She told him, people who are impulsive like you are the ones who die first, and their blood is the first thing to spread in this place. As she was still talking, someone suddenly appeared behind her and handed her a kunai with their tongue. Anko replied, thanks for the kunai, but don't ever get this close to me again unless you want to die. Then she added, it seems we have a lot of bloodthirsty individuals in this exam, so let's start quickly. But first, you'll have to sign a waiver because you might die in the test. She continued, the test is simple. You'll try to survive inside the forest. You'll be divided into teams, and each team will get one type of scroll. You must gather both types of scrolls and deliver them to the tower in the middle of the forest within 120 hours. That means only half the teams will succeed. But if even one person from a team dies, the entire team will fail, even if they manage to collect both scrolls. Also, don't open the scroll before reaching the tower. Now, go collect your scrolls from over there and start the test immediately. One last piece of advice. Don't die. Everyone went to receive their scrolls, each holding a paper in hand. Sasuke commented, no one knows which teams have the same scrolls, nor which team member is carrying it. That means we're all enemies. All the teams headed to different gate locations, waiting for the official start of the test. With Anko's signal, everyone started rushing into the forest, full of excitement. In the forest, Kiba, Hinata, and their teammate were talking when another team was spying on them from behind. Before they could attack, Shino used his insects to trap them in a pre-made ambush, allowing his team to capture their first target. Meanwhile, Naruto was in the forest with Sakura and Sasuke. He told them, I'm going to the bathroom far away. After some time, he returned to them, but as soon as Sasuke saw him, he rushed at him, holding a kunai and attacking again. Sakura was shocked and asked, what are you doing? Sasuke told her, look at his face. The wound that was there is gone. He's a fake. Indeed, it turned out to be someone impersonating Naruto. The imposter said, I don't want to waste time. Hand over your scroll, and began attacking them. Sasuke used his fire technique and attacked the imposter. Glancing to the side, he saw Naruto tied up with a rope. He threw him a kunai to help him free himself and tried to dodge the attacks. However, the imposter managed to get behind him, immobilizing him. He said, give me the scroll and I won't kill you. If that girl tries to help, help, I'll kill you both. Before he could finish speaking, Naruto threw a kunai at him from behind, freeing Sasuke. Sasuke quickly jumped and attacked, stabbing the imposter with his kunai. He told Sakura, don't move from your spot. He might not be alone, but the imposter managed to escape. Afterward, Naruto, Sakura, and Sasuke discussed their plan. Sasuke said, we need a password to recognize each other, and he came up with a phrase for them to remember. Naruto didn't memorize it well. Before they could continue talking, a strong wind blew through the area. The person causing the wind was the same woman who had tried to attack Anko. Luckily, Sasuke and his team managed to hide, but each ended up in a different spot. When they reunited, Sakura correctly said the password, and Naruto also managed to recite it. Before he could finish, Sasuke attacked him. Sakura protested, saying, but he said it correctly. Sasuke replied, that's the problem. Naruto wouldn't be able to remember this so easily. Sure enough, the same woman appeared before them again and said, if you knew your friend would forget the password, why make it so long? Sasuke replied, I knew you were listening from underground, so I made it long on purpose. Meanwhile, Naruto was injured by the wind attack and, as he tried to get up, he found himself facing a giant snake. The snake attacked him, coiling around him and swallowing him. Naruto threw a rice ball he had inside its stomach, and it dissolved completely. The snake began to swallow him further, but Naruto quickly used the shadow clone technique, creating multiple copies of himself, and escaped. Meanwhile, Sasuke stood face to face with the mysterious woman. She pulled out her scroll and swallowed it with her tongue, saying, let's start the battle now. She suddenly used a genjutsu on them, causing both Sasuke and Sakura to collapse from exhaustion. Sasuke said, I'm so scared. This feeling is the feeling of death. She's definitely trying to kill us. Who is she? He turned to Sakura and saw her trembling and crying from fear. He thought, we have to escape, or the only thing awaiting us is death. Though he struggled to move, Sasuke managed to stand up. The woman approached him, saying, I'll kill you in 1 second. You won't feel any pain. She threw a kunai at him, and blood splattered everywhere. However, Sasuke managed to escape. He moved to a different spot to rest, revealing that he had injured himself to regain mobility and dodge her attack. Sakura began to regain her composure, but before she could speak, Sasuke covered her mouth, saying, we have to escape before she finds us. But how can we run? He looked beside him and saw another giant snake attacking. Tried to eat him, but he used his shuriken to kill it. The woman emerged again, coiling herself around a tree like a snake. Before she could attack Sasuke again, Naruto arrived at the scene. Sasuke thought to himself, Naruto won't stand a chance against her. He should run before he gets involved. She's far stronger than us. But then he saw Naruto speaking with great enthusiasm. Sasuke quickly pulled the scroll from his pocket and said to the woman, if all you want is the scroll, take it and leave. He threw it toward her, but before she could grab it, Naruto dashed forward, grabbed the scroll, and punched Sasuke in the face. Naruto said, you're not the real Sasuke. You're just a coward and an idiot. I know this woman is very strong, but she won't leave us alone even if we give her the scroll. You're too scared to see the truth. The woman stood up and said, you're absolutely right. She smeared blood on a mark on her hand, using it to summon a giant snake, which began attacking Naruto. Outside the forest, some exam supervisors found 3 corpses lying on the ground. One of them resembled the woman attacking Naruto. One supervisor rushed to inform Anko, saying, we have an emergency. Come with me immediately. When she arrived, the assistant told her, these corpses are ninja registered for the Chunin exam, but as you can see, their facial features are completely gone. Anko was shocked, placing her hand on her neck. She said, only one person can use this technique. Why did he come to the exam? She asked to see their pictures and realized the attacker was the same woman from earlier. She became more alarmed, saying, he's the one who tried to attack me at the start of the exam. She turned to the supervisors and said, this is extremely dangerous. Inform the Hokage immediately and request 2 ANBU teams to enter the forest. I'll try to capture him myself. She thought, it can't be. That man has returned to Konoha. This will be catastrophic. Meanwhile, Naruto was being attacked by the snake. When he was struck hard, the Kyuubi's traits began to surface, and he attacked the snake with great strength. However, the woman easily countered him with a fire technique, injuring him. She thought, those eyes, I know them well. He must be the Kyuubi's child. She turned her attention to Sasuke, but Naruto blocked her attack to protect him. He told Sasuke, you're like a scaredy cat. The fool standing in front of me isn't the real Sasuke. Before he could finish, the woman grabbed him with her tongue, tore off the cloth over his stomach, and struck him on the Kyuubi's seal. A new seal appeared, suppressing Naruto's power entirely, and he fainted. The woman said, it's been 12 years since this seal was placed, which is why Naruto's power has started merging with the Kyuubi's. She took his scroll and threw him aside. Sasuke stood frozen, unable to move, remembering his brother's words. If you want to kill me, hate me more. Live a miserable life and run as as much as you can. He activated his Sharingan. The woman said, so, this boy is the last Uchiha. I'll take my time playing with him. The snake vanished, and she stood in front of Sasuke, ready to attack. Sasuke thought to himself, I must become stronger and live so I can kill my brother. He grabbed a kunai with his mouth and began attacking the woman with all his might. She dodged his strikes while counterattacking, and he managed to use the fire technique on her, but it didn't affect her. She commented, this boy has decent skills. He can easily read my movements and evade attacks. She struck at Sasuke again, but he dodged the blow, grabbed her, and slammed her into the ground. To his surprise, her body turned into mud. She attacked him again, but Sasuke managed to trap her in a snare tied to a tree trunk. He used the fire technique at full strength on her. Sakura ran to check on him, but suddenly, the woman escaped from the ropes, used a technique, and immobilized Sasuke. Her skin began to peel away, revealing another person underneath. He said to Sasuke, I didn't expect you to use the Sharingan at this age, but you're very strong, just as I predicted. You must be Itachi's brother. Your eyes are just like his. Sasuke was shocked when he heard his brother's name and demanded, who are you? The man replied, my name is Orochimaru. If you want to meet me again, you'll have to finish this exam. I defeated the 3 ninjas from the Sound Village. He burned the scroll in his hand, then suddenly used a technique to stretch his neck to Sasuke's and bite it. A strange mark appeared on Sasuke's neck as he cried out in pain. Orochimaru said, I've given you a gift. I'm sure you'll come to me again seeking power. I enjoyed seeing your strength. He then disappeared from the scene. Sasuke collapsed to the ground, writhing in agony and screaming until he passed out. Meanwhile, Orochimaru had moved to another location. At the same time, Anko was running towards him, saying, I can feel his presence, and she finally reached his location. Orochimaru greeted her. It's been a long time since we last met. She responded, Orochimaru, you're an S-rank criminal. That's why I'll kill you, even if it costs me my life. That's what I learned from you in the past. Before she could act, Orochimaru attacked her. Anko summoned small snakes similar to his and began attacking him. She grabbed his arm, stabbing both their hands with a kunai, and activated a seal with her other hand, saying, I'm sure you know who taught me this seal. As you're aware, both of us will die now. Suddenly, Orochimaru appeared behind her, saying, the one with you is just a clone. It seems you're intent on suicide, but as expected from a genin of the village, you can't use a forbidden technique properly. Orochimaru used a technique to immobilize her. Anko demanded, why have you come here? Is it to kill the Hokage this time? He replied, no, that's not why. I need some strong shinobi for my new village. A moment ago, I gave one of them a gift, just like the mark on your neck. But his chances of survival are only 10%. I'm very impressed by him. I'm sure you're still upset with me for discarding you after using your abilities, but this boy will surpass you. He's an Uchiha child, and I'll try to make him my successor. If he survives the curse mark on his neck, the events to come will be very interesting. It's best you don't cancel the exam, as there are 3 from my village participating. If you try to ruin my fun, I'll have no choice but to destroy Konoha completely. Orochimaru left her there. Anko began treating her injured hand, saying, I must inform the Hokage immediately. As she looked ahead, she saw large beasts attacking her. Before she could retaliate, the Umbu team arrived. But before she could say anything, she collapsed from exhaustion. One of the Umbu noticed Orochimaru's mark and said, we must take you to the Hokage immediately. She responded, no, take me to the tower in the middle of the forest and inform the Hokage right away. At the same time, Sakura was sitting next to Sasuke and Naruto. In the trees nearby, ninjas from Otogekure were observing them. Their leader said, as Orochimaru ordered, we'll wait until dawn. Our only target is Uchiha Sasuke. If either of the other 2 gets in our way, kill them without hesitation. Meanwhile, Lee, Niji, and Tenten had split up, searching for other teams. Back with Sakura, she sat by Sasuke and Naruto, passing out from exhaustion. In her sleep, she dreamt of Sasuke and Naruto waking up and Orochimaru attacking them again. She woke up from the nightmare to see the 3 Sound Village ninjas standing in front of her. Their leader said, wake Sasuke up, we want to fight him. Sakura asked, you're from Orochimaru's village? What do you want from Sasuke, and why does he have a strange mark on his neck? One of them replied, I don't know why he needs it, but it doesn't matter. We need to fight him now. They tried attacking Sakura, evading the traps she had set. Just before they could reach her, Lee arrived and struck them, standing in front of Sakura to protect her. Their leader charged at Lee, but Lee blocked the attack effortlessly, saying, I'm 1 against 3. I'll have to risk my life to defeat them. Meanwhile, Shikamaru's team was observing from a nearby tree. Choji noticed Sasuke and Naruto lying unconscious on the ground below. On the battlefield, Lee began unwrapping the bandages from his hand, saying to himself, I'll have to use my secret move. He struck the leader and appeared behind him, wrapping his body with the bandages. He spun him around and slammed him to the ground. However, another Sound ninja saved the leader from death. The leader got back up and attacked Lee using sound waves, disorienting his vision. Lee collapsed from exhaustion, suddenly bleeding from his ears. The leader taunted, "No matter how much you evade my attacks, you can't escape sound techniques. They penetrate your ears and affect your brain, causing you to lose balance and rendering you immobile for a while." He rushed toward Sakura to attack, but Lee managed to fight through his fatigue and stood to block the attack. However, Lee's strength was too diminished, and the leader struck him again using the sound technique, causing him to fall unconscious. Shikamaru's team continued observing from above, terrified by the scene unfolding before them. Sakura stood alone, fighting bravely. The girl from the sound team attacked her, leaving Lee lying on the ground, unable to move. Sakura began to cry, saying, "I'm nothing but a burden. Everyone always protects me, and I'm useless." One of the sound ninjas approached Sasuke, who was emitting smoke of a strange color. Sakura was unable to do anything. She grabbed a kunai and cut her hair to free herself, saying, "I've always been an immature person, only following Sasuke and Naruto. But now I have to act on my own." She used the substitution technique to evade attacks and fought back, managing to injure one of the sound ninjas. At the same time, Ino watched, recalling their childhood and Sakura's growth over the years. She began crying as she saw Sakura fighting relentlessly, saying, "I must help her." Just as Sakura was about to be killed, Ino and her team stepped out to protect her. At the same time, Sasuke was unconscious, and when he opened his eyes, he found himself in a strange place. The only thing in front of him was his younger self, crying over the death of his family. He remembered the place and the scene he saw back then, the pain of being weak and unable to protect his family. The strange smoke surrounding him began to intensify. Meanwhile, Ino stood in front of Sakura and said, "I told you before, I won't lose to you, ever. That's why I'll protect you now." Choji wanted to flee, but Shikamaru held him back, saying, "We all need to fight together." One of the sound ninja said mockingly, "Feel free to run, fatso." Choji got furious and replied, "I'll show you what happens when you call me fat." He transformed into a giant rolling ball and attacked them. One of them failed to dodge the hit, and when their leader tried to help, Shikamaru used the shadow imitation technique and managed to hold him in place. Ino then used the mind transfer technique, taking control of the girl in their group. She warned the others, "If any of you move, I'll kill her body." However, they easily counterattacked. One of them said, "We don't care about anything else. Our target isn't the scroll or this silly exam. Our only goal is Sasuke." Before they could attack, Niji and Tenten appeared. Niji declared, "The boy lying unconscious over there is a member of our team. Clearly, you've gone too far." He activated his family's Byakugan technique. Meanwhile, the smoke around Sasuke kept growing denser. He started recalling memories of his family's death, back when he was a helpless child who couldn't do anything. Suddenly, he stood up and massive energy began flowing out of him. Strange markings appeared all over his body. He stood firm, asking Sakura, "Who did this to everyone here?" Looking at himself, he noticed his body was covered in these strange marks. He reassured her, "Don't worry, I can feel the power surging through me. Orochimaru must have given me this strength. I'm someone who seeks revenge, and I'll gain power no matter the cost, even if it's evil power." The marks on his body expanded, and the energy pouring out grew stronger. He attacked the sound ninja with all his might. Grabbing one of them by the arm, he said, "You boast a lot about your arm's strength," and then broke it before throwing him aside. Everyone stood in shock at his newfound power. Sasuke turned to their leader, stepping towards him. Sakura, overwhelmed, muttered, "This isn't the real Sasuke in front of me." She began to imagine Orochimaru's face, tears streaming down her cheeks. She rushed to stop him. The marks on Sasuke's body started to fade, and he collapsed to the ground from exhaustion. The sound ninja leader said, "You're very strong," handing over their scroll. He added, "We can't defeat you in your current state." He left the scroll on the ground, picked up his comrades, and started to walk away. Before he could leave, Sakura called out, "Wait, who is Orochimaru, and what does he want with Sasuke?" He replied, "I don't know. We were just ordered to kill him. None of us know what he's planning." Everyone began to recover and process what had just happened. Sasuke was left confused about the strange occurrences in his mind. Naruto woke up from fainting to find all his friends injured around him. Sakura told him, "Everyone here helped us to defeat Orochimaru." Then she turned to Lee and said, "Thank you so much for helping me become stronger. The moment I saw you get hurt, I was able to gather my strength." Sasuke was very surprised and said, "How did he lose to them? These ninjas were incredibly strong." At the same time, Hinata's team was walking through the forest. As soon as they sensed people nearby, they stopped in their tracks. Hinata used her Byakugan ability and was able to see see Gaara from afar. Shino said, there are about 6 people over there, to which Kiba replied, let's go see what's happening there. We've already collected our scrolls, but if we take more scrolls, it means more teams will lose. They moved in that direction, but as they got closer, Akamaru became extremely scared and hid with Kiba. Kiba said, Akamaru is very sensitive to chakra, but this is the first time I've seen him so terrified by someone's strength. These people are not ordinary at all. Gaara and his teammates were facing another team. Kiba and his group stood by, watching the fight. They overheard Kankuro saying to Gaara, first, we need to know what kind of scroll they have. If it's the same type as ours, there's no point in fighting. But Gaara replied, no. Anyone who looks into my eyes must die. The other team attacked Gaara, but he easily blocked their attack using a sand shield. Kankuro explained, Gaara uses the sand from the gourd on his back, and he can shape it any way he wants to protect himself from all attacks. Whether he wills it or not, the sand moves on its own to shield him. None of you can ever defeat Gaara. Gaara used his power to trap one of them in sand, then lifted him into the air and crushed his body inside it. The other 2 members of the team dropped their scroll on the ground and tried to run, but before they could move, Gaara used the same technique on them, killing them both. Kankuro picked up the scroll from the ground. Meanwhile, Kiba and his team ran away immediately after witnessing the fight, but Gaara noticed their presence. Kankuro said to Gaara, stop fighting for now. We don't need more than this scroll. Gaara replied, I know you're my older brother, but if you stand in my way, I will kill you. Then he left the area, and Kiba's team managed to escape quickly. By late at night, they headed straight to the tower. There was no one else there except them. As they looked around, they saw Gaara and his team arriving. Kiba thought to himself, I don't know who this person is, but just looking at him terrifies me. At the same time, news reached Anko that Gaara and his team had completed the test. She looked at them and found out that they finished the test in less than an hour and without even a single scratch. After 4 days had passed, Naruto and the team were sitting and eating. Sasuke told them, we have only about 25 hours left until the end of the test, and most of the teams have already finished. There are only a few left now. Sakura said, maybe the remaining teams don't have the scroll we need. Orochimaru burned our scroll at the beginning, which means 1 extra team will fail this test. Sasuke replied, we need to speed up and try to find anyone, because the last team we meet will determine whether we pass this test or not. He left them to go find some water to drink. Meanwhile, Naruto said to Sakura, I have a lot of scrolls. What do you think about opening the one we have to see what's inside? We can try to guess the contents of the other scroll, which should be similar, and write the same words on it. This way we'll pass. The proctors won't even notice, since Orochimaru burned one of them. Just as he was about to open the scroll, Kabuto stopped him. When Sasuke saw this, he rushed over to them. Kabuto said, it's good you didn't open it. In the last exam, anyone who opened the scroll fell asleep for a long time until the test ended, and they couldn't retake the test again. Sasuke asked, why did you come here? I don't think you're trying to steal our scroll, because if that was your intention, you would have taken it from Naruto earlier. Kabuto replied, I've already collected both of my scrolls, and I'm heading to my team at the tower now. He turned to leave, but Sasuke stopped him, saying, wait, fight me now. We need one of the scrolls you have, and I don't know if we'll be able to meet anyone else with the same scroll. Kabuto responded, it's better that you don't fight me now, because there are people watching us here. Come with me toward the tower. All the teams are heading there, and you'll find the scroll you're looking for. So they all set off with Kabuto toward the tower. Kabuto told them, be very careful there, because many people are thinking the same way you are. You'll find traps set up around the area, and there are also many people trying to sabotage the test for others to make it easier for themselves in the later stages of the exams. Sasuke replied, now I understand why you want us to come with you to the tower. The truth is, you're scared to go there alone. Kabuto said, yes. By the end of the day, they all arrived there and saw dead ninjas ahead, killed by traps. When Naruto tried to move forward, he tripped over a rope on the ground. Kabuto caught him before he got injured and quickly used the substitution technique. He told Naruto, be careful with your movements from now on. We're very close to the tower. Sakura said, we've been walking for a long time, and we still haven't gotten any closer to the tower. Kabuto replied, it's clear that we're trapped in a genjutsu, moving in circles. Suddenly, a large number of clones appeared around them and began surrounding them. Naruto tried to attack one of them, but suddenly it turned into liquid, and another head appeared on the same body. Sasuke used the Sharingan to block the attack, but the enemy threw a kunai at Sasuke. Suddenly, Sasuke's body froze, unable to move, and Kabuto barely managed to save him. Sasuke said, what's happening to my body? Orochimaru's curse mark started to activate. Kabuto said, these clones aren't just ordinary clones. They're very real people. This might also be an illusion. Naruto tried to attack them again, but Sasuke stopped him, saying, they're just illusions. The real body must be hiding somewhere close by and attacking us using the same movements as its clones. Kabuto Kabuto said, all we can do now is dodge their attacks. They began evading the attacks, and Naruto used the shadow clone jutsu, saying, I'll attack all of them at the same time. He started taking them down one by one. Everyone joined in to help him, and they kept at it until sunrise, exhausted. The person controlling the technique said, I guess now is the time for us to attack. 3 figures appeared in the forest. Their leader said to Sasuke, you injured my shoulder before. Now, I'll get my revenge on you. He looked up and saw all 4 of them laughing before they all transformed into Naruto clones. Naruto said, I've been copying their forms all night and attacking with them until you showed yourselves. Sasuke told Naruto, you've used up a lot of energy. Rest, and I'll take care of the rest. But Naruto rushed in to fight them, saying, this is the fun part of fighting. Sasuke was shocked and thought, since when did Naruto have all this power? Even Kabuto was surprised by Naruto's immense strength. They then saw the enemy create a large number of clones. Naruto charged to attack them, but when Sasuke tried to use the Sharingan, he felt intense pain in the area of Orochimaru's curse mark. Sasuke said, I don't know what's happening to me. I haven't used much of my energy. He tried to gather his strength to use it again, but collapsed from the pain as the mark glowed once more. He stood up and told Naruto, the real body isn't among them. Suddenly, the real enemies emerged from underground and attacked Kabuto, but Naruto struck them and managed to defeat them. Naruto searched for the scroll they had, and it turned out to be the missing scroll they needed. They all headed to the tower. There, Kabuto reunited with his team, and each team entered their designated gate. Kabuto entered with his team and said, I've gathered all their data. Orochimaru stood in front of him and handed him a paper containing information about Sasuke. Orochimaru asked, since you're a spy for the village of Sound, what do you think of him? Kabuto replied, my opinion doesn't matter. You'll be the one to decide in the end. Meanwhile, Naruto came across a large plaque in the area. Written on it were instructions to open both scrolls simultaneously. As soon as they opened the 2 scrolls together, thick smoke emerged, and Sensei appeared in front of them. He said, looks like you all worked hard to make it here. Congratulations, you've passed the 2nd exam. I'll treat you to some ramen after the test. Sasuke asked, what would have happened if we had opened the scrolls during the test? Irika replied, we had orders that anyone who broke the rules would be put to sleep until the end of the exam. He then began explaining the meaning of the plaque on the wall and added, I'll give you a piece of advice. Don't be reckless in the 3rd exam, especially you, Naruto. I'm worried about you. Naruto replied, don't worry about me. You're the one who gave me the headband I'm wearing, which means I'm not a kid anymore. Now, I'm a real ninja. Irika remembered Kakashi's words about them and thought, it's clear that Kakashi knows more about them than I do. Meanwhile, Anko was in the Hokage's office, recounting everything that had happened. One of the aides said, I know Orochimaru is one of the legends of the Leaf Village. He's extremely powerful, and no one has been able to deal with him. But what could have brought him back to the village after he fled? The Hokage replied, it must be because of Sasuke. They looked at the screen in front of them, where the proctor of the exam informed them that the 2nd stage of the exam had concluded. The Hokage said, we need to continue the exam, but at the same time, we must figure out what he's planning. The Hokage gathered all the teams that passed the exam. There were 7 teams that had succeeded, and all the main teams were among them. The Hokage said, now we will begin the 3rd stage of the exam. It will be like a small war between the ninja nations. The Kage of the different villages and important dignitaries from various countries will attend the test. For the village that proves its strength, job opportunities will increase significantly. Conversely, weak villages will lose their standing. This exam will be a life or death battle for your dream and the honor of your village. A man named Hayate Gecko appeared in front of them and said, I'll be the one to explain the details to you. He turned around and said, before we start the 3rd exam, you will first participate in preliminary matches because we need to reduce your numbers before the main test. As the Hokage mentioned, many guests will be attending, so we can't conduct too many matches then. If anyone wishes to withdraw, speak up now because the matches are about to start, and they will be one-on-one battles. Suddenly, Sasuke felt a sharp pain in his neck. Sakura said to him, it's better for you to withdraw. Ever since you encountered Orochimaru, you've been acting strange. She remembered what happened when Sasuke first woke up and started crying. Naruto was shocked, not knowing anything about the mark on Sasuke's neck. The Hokage sensed Sasuke's pain, and Anko said, we need to isolate him immediately from the exam and keep him under observation until we understand the mark on his neck and whether he can handle it. Kakashi replied, he won't listen easily. He's an Uchiha. Anko responded, even if we have to use force, we must. The cursed seal activates whenever he uses his chakra. Yet despite that, he's incredibly strong. Anyone else in his place would have died instantly. At the same time, Kabuto raised his hand to withdraw, saying to Naruto, I'm really exhausted right now and can't fight, especially if it's a life or death battle. The Hokage said, I remember that guy. He also withdrew during the main exam last year. I wonder what he's planning. Anko added, based on my information, he's failed the exam 6 times before, and there's nothing remarkable in his record. However, before joining the academy here, he was a child from another village whose parents died in battle. Meanwhile, Kabuto's teammates asked him, why are you acting on your own? Did you forget Lord Orochimaru's orders? Kabuto replied, I'll leave the rest of the mission to you, especially you, Yoroy. This is your chance to prove your strength to Lord Orochimaru. Then he walked away. He thought to himself, I wish I could keep playing with them, but if I spend more time here, my true identity as Lord Orochimaru's spy might be exposed. My mission to gather information is now complete. Hey-Eight Gecko then asked, does anyone else want to withdraw? Sakura started to raise her hand to report Sasuke's condition, but Sasuke grabbed her hand and said, don't say a word. I have to take this exam now. Sakura started crying and said, I'm sure you're in constant pain because of it. He replied, it's none of your business. Stop interfering in my life. I told you before, I'm an avenger. I don't care about becoming a Chunin, but I need to grow stronger. Here, I can fight powerful opponents, and I won't let you stand in my way. Then, he turned to Naruto and said, I also want to fight you because your power has grown significantly recently. At the same time, the Hokage told Anko, we'll leave the exam as it is. If Sasuke's seal activates, stop him immediately. Hey-Eight then said, now we'll begin the exam. The winner will qualify for the 3rd test. There are no rules. It's a one-on-one battle until death or surrender. If I order you to stop the match, you must stop immediately to avoid unnecessary deaths. Behind him, a board lit up showing the names of the contestants randomly. He announced the first match, which was between Yoroy and Sasuke. Both stepped forward to start the match, and everyone was excited to see Sasuke's strength. The rest of the group went up to the viewing area to watch the fight. Kakashi approached Sasuke and said, don't use the Sharingan. I know everything that happened to you, and if you can't control the power of the cursed seal, you might die easily. Sasuke replied, I expected you'd say that, and I wasn't planning on using it. Kakashi added, if anything happens, I'll cancel the match and stop you immediately. Sasuke thought, it's clear that this seal reacts to my chakra. If I try to use my power, the seal will take over. That means I have to fight using only my true strength. Orochimaru, disguised among the spectators, watched Sasuke intently. The battle began, and when Sasuke tried to block Yoroy's attack, he fell to the ground. However, he managed to pull Yoroy down with him. Yoroy then grabbed Sasuke's head, drained his chakra, and rendered him unable to move. Sasuke's energy began to deplete, and Orochimaru remarked, Yoroy is the perfect opponent for Sasuke right now. Once he drains all his chakra, Sasuke will be forced to rely on my curse mark. That's when I'll see his true endurance. But Sasuke mustered his strength, striking Yoroy and sending him flying. However, Yoroy quickly attacked again, forcing Sasuke to dodge his attacks. Sasuke was visibly weak, and everyone watching was puzzled by his diminished strength. Sasuke glanced at Naruto, who was calling out to him, then noticed Lee standing next to him. Inspired, Sasuke began evading Yoroy's attacks and countered using Lee's fighting style. But just as he gained the upper hand, Orochimaru's curse mark activated, causing Sasuke intense pain as the marking spread across his body. He managed to control it with great difficulty, ultimately landing a powerful blow that slammed Yoroy into the ground. Sasuke won his first preliminary battle, though he was utterly exhausted. Kakashi appeared behind him and said, you did well. That move you used was Gai-sensei's technique. Gai-sensei, watching from the sidelines, commented, how did he master that move after seeing it only once? Everyone was impressed by Sasuke's strength, but also fearful of facing him. Orochimaru, meanwhile, was thrilled at the prospect of taking control of Sasuke's body. The medical team approached to treat Sasuke, but Kakashi stopped them, saying, I'll take responsibility for him. He told Sasuke, we're going to a separate room where I'll seal the curse mark on you. Sasuke protested, but I want to watch the remaining matches. Kakashi insisted, no, this needs to be dealt with immediately before it's too late. Kakashi led Sasuke away, leaving Naruto feeling uneasy about the strange energy coming from Sasuke's neck. He asked Sakura about it, but she remembered Sasuke's request to keep it a secret and said nothing. The second match began between Shino and Zaku, a member of the Sound Ninja. As they stepped forward, Shino said, your arm is already broken. If I fight you now, you'll die easily. You should just withdraw. But Zaku ignored him and launched an attack. Meanwhile, Kakashi and Sasuke were in a distant room prepared with circles and seals drawn on the floor. Kakashi started writing seals on Sasuke's body using blood and said, this sealing process will be painful. Bear with it as much as you can. He began sealing Orochimaru's curse mark, explaining, if this curse activates, this seal will suppress it. However, the seal relies on your willpower. If your confidence wavers or your resolve weakens, the curse will take over again. Before Kakashi could finish his explanation, Sasuke passed out from exhaustion. Suddenly, Orochimaru appeared behind Kakashi, saying, "You've grown up, Kakashi. I see you've learned to use sealing techniques. It's been a long time since I last saw you." Orochimaru stood in front of Kakashi and said, "I'm sorry, but I didn't come here to meet you. I came for the boy behind you." Kakashi replied, "Why do you want Sasuke?" Orochimaru answered, "To take the same left eye as yours. I too want the power of the Sharingan." Kakashi asked, "What are your goals?" Orochimaru replied, "I want to build my own village, and to achieve that, I need many allies. Sasuke will be the most important among them, unlike the others, who are merely pawns." Orochimaru began to approach Sasuke, and Kakashi quickly used his special technique, saying, "Even if you are one of the 3 legendary Sannin of Konoha, I can stop you." Orochimaru laughed and said, "The seal you put on Sasuke is useless. Sasuke, to achieve his goal, is willing to embrace the darkest forms of power. That's the kind of heart he has, a vengeful child. He'll come looking for me eventually to gain power." He turned his back and started to leave, adding, "Oh, by the way, you wanted to kill me, didn't you? Why not try?" Suddenly, Kakashi felt something strange and couldn't move at all. He thought to himself, "I wanted to stop him, but with this immense power of his, I'm just a fool." At the same time, Zaku attacked Shino using sound waves, throwing him back. But Shino got up easily, and insects started emerging from his body. Shino said, "These insects absorb chakra, and if they all attack you, you'll die easily. If you don't want to die, surrender now. There's no way to escape." Zaku remembered his childhood, when villagers chased him for stealing from the village. They caught and beat him, and he was deeply upset because he was always weak. While wandering, he met Orochimaru, who took him in and trained him to become stronger. Zaku recalled the battles he fought after gaining the power of sound from Orochimaru and said, "I can't remain a failure." He attempted to attack Shino and the insects again using his broken arm. Suddenly, the energy in his arm exploded, rendering it immobile. He looked and saw insects inside it. Shino said, "I told you to withdraw from the beginning. I commanded the insects to block the sound vents in your arm from the start." Shino struck Zaku, throwing him to the ground, and won the fight. Niji used his Byakugan to look at Shino's body and saw living insects inside it. "I've heard of this clan before. They allow their bodies to become nests for insects, enabling them to use the insects in battle freely in exchange for their chakra." Suddenly, Kakashi appeared in front of Naruto. Sakura asked, "How's Sasuke doing now?" He replied, "He's fine and resting in a hospital bed." They looked at the screen and saw the next match, Kankuro versus Misumi from Kabuto's team. Both advanced to the arena, and the third battle began. Misumi began the attack, wrapping his body around Kankuro and managing to restrain him. He said, "Surrender, or I'll break your bones. I don't know your fighting style, but in this position, you can't do anything." Kankuro smiled and said, "Unfortunately, you're the one who's going to die now." Suddenly, his neck snapped, and everyone thought he was dead. But then he twisted his head, revealing that he was actually a puppet, which had restrained Misumi. Kankuro's real body emerged, as he had been controlling the puppet with chakra threads. He started breaking Misumi's bones, but Hayate stopped the fight and declared Kankuro the winner. Sakura said, "Everyone here is so skilled at using chakra. I hope I can learn to compete with them." The fourth match began, between Sakura and Ino. They both stepped forward to the arena. Ino said, "I never thought I'd have to fight you." The battle started between them, and Ino went to strike Sakura, but suddenly paused as memories of their past together came to her. Sakura also recalled their shared memories as children, back when Ino always outshone Sakura at school and constantly cared for her. Sakura said, "Our friendship ended because we both loved Sasuke, but now I don't care anymore. I'm much stronger than you now. I don't need any care from you." Ino replied, "And I won't hold back against you." They both resumed their battle once again. Sakura used the clone technique and managed to hit Ino easily. She said, "If you still see me as the little girl who always ran after you, then you're going to lose. Fight seriously if you want to defeat me." Kakashi commented, "Sakura is very skilled at chakra control. She can distribute it easily throughout her body, to the point where she's better than Sasuke and Naruto." Sakura and Ino started fighting again, continuing for more than 10 minutes, with their strength being very close. Ino grabbed a kunai and cut her own hair, saying, "I'm not afraid of you at all." Ino then attempted to use the mind transfer technique. Sakura said, I know that technique very well. If you fail to aim it at me, your body won't move for at least 5 minutes. Asuma remarked, the mind transfer technique is used for spying, not fighting. If Ino uses it like this, it's basically suicide. Kakashi added, if Sakura moves, nothing will happen. Hayate will stop the match immediately, and Sakura will win. Sakura started running, but Ino still managed to use the technique, leaving everyone shocked. However, Sakura evaded the attack and said, now I've won easily. But when she looked down, she found herself trapped and unable to move. Ino began laughing and said, I managed to immobilize you. I turned my hair into chakra threads, and now I can use the mind transfer technique effortlessly. Sakura tried to move, but it was useless. Ino successfully used the technique and controlled Sakura's mind, raising her hand to declare Sakura's surrender. But suddenly, Sakura began regaining control of her body and forced Ino out of her mind. Both of them were extremely exhausted, with very little chakra left. They attacked each other and both were thrown back, unable to move. Hayate declared the match a draw. Everyone was surprised by their strength. Kakashi said, I knew Naruto and Sasuke had grown stronger, but I never expected Sakura to become this powerful. Even though they're struggling, I'm glad I nominated them for the Chunin exams. The next match was between Tenten and Tamari from the Sand Village. Both stepped forward for the battle. At the same time, Sakura regained consciousness and found Ino next to her. She asked, did I lose the match? Ino replied, the result was a draw between us. She handed Sakura her forehead protector and said, I'm proud to call you my friend, but in the next battle, I'll be the one to win with ease. The battle between Tenten and Tamari began, with Lee and Guy cheering loudly for Tenten. Both stood facing each other, but neither made a move. Tamari said, why aren't you attacking? If you're waiting for me to start, you're wrong. If I attack first, you'll die easily. Tenten began her attack, but Tamari dodged it while standing in place. Tenten thought, impossible. I'm sure I aimed at her. She calculated the distance between them and ran to try another attack. She used her technique and launched multiple weapons, but it was no use. Tamari managed to evade them again. She said, you haven't even seen the full power of my fan. This is just the first star. If you see the third star, you'll lose instantly. Tenten pulled out 2 scrolls and used her technique, summoning 2 dragons. She grabbed ninja weapons and began attacking, but Tamari blocked them. Tenten noticed her weapons were tied together with threads, but Tamari deflected the attack a third time. Suddenly, Tamari disappeared while standing still and began flying in the air. She used a powerful wind technique, and Tenten began taking heavy damage until she was completely defeated. The Hokage commented, the Sand Village's ninja are extremely dangerous. Hayate declared Tamari the winner of the 4th match. Lee ran to catch Tenten as she fell, and Tamari said, it's good you caught her. There's no place for weaklings in these battles. Lee attempted to attack her, but Guy stopped him. Gaara said to Tamari, the match is over. Don't waste your time on someone as weak as him. Guy warned them, I'll give you one important tip. That boy is very strong. You'd better be prepared if you're going to fight him. Everyone was shocked by his words, given the immense strength of the Sand Village. The next match was announced between Shikamaru and Tsubaki from the Sound Village. Before heading to the arena, Tsubaki's leader said, be careful of his shadow technique. Both advanced to the arena. Shikamaru thought, even though I've seen their strength before, I don't know anything about it. Meanwhile, she's seen my technique already. I'll have to think differently. The match began, and Shikamaru used the shadow technique, but Tsubaki evaded it and threw metal needles with small bells attached. Shikamaru said, that's such an old trick. Next, you'll throw 1 needle with a bell and 1 without. If I move according to the sound, I'll only avoid the first one. Shikamaru dodged her needles but noticed the bells were tied to strings. He managed to evade her attack, but suddenly fell to the ground due to the sound. Tsubaki said, the sound of the bells creates an illusion in the brain. Shikamaru began seeing hallucinations and was hit by her needles. Just as she prepared to land the final blow, she suddenly couldn't move her body. She said, how did he trap me? I didn't even see his shadow. She looked and saw it had merged with the strings. Shikamaru said, I can control the thickness of my shadow. Tsubaki said, but you won't gain anything from this. We'll just make the same movements in the end. Shikamaru grabbed a shuriken. She said, if you attack me like this, you'll die too. Shikamaru replied, let's see who lasts till the end. He threw the shuriken and quickly dodged. Tsubaki, however, hit the wall hard and got injured. Shikamaru said, even if you move like me, the wall works differently. He was declared the winner of the match. The next match was announced between Naruto Naruto and Kiba. Naruto was extremely excited for the battle. The two stepped forward for their match. Kiba said, "I'll beat you easily with Akamaru." Naruto replied, "Get that dog out of here." Kiba smirked, "Akamaru will fight with me." Hayate then announced, "Dogs and insects are considered ninja tools, so it's allowed." Everyone was watching closely. Hinata whispered, "I want to cheer for Naruto, but I'm in Kiba's team." Kiba thought to himself, "I don't know how much Naruto has improved, but his original abilities are weak." He recalled their academy days when Naruto was a complete failure and all the students mocked him. Kiba confidently said, "I'll defeat you with just one blow." Gathering his energy, Kiba transformed into a dog-like form and charged at high speed, slamming Naruto to the ground. Everyone began laughing at Naruto, assuming Kiba had already won. Suddenly, Naruto stood up again and said, "Don't underestimate me. I only held back to gauge your strength." Kiba and Akamaru rushed to attack again, throwing smoke bombs to obscure Naruto's vision. In the smoke, Naruto couldn't see anything and was repeatedly hit. When he tried to escape the smoke, Akamaru tackled him, sending him to the ground once more. Kiba celebrated with Akamaru, but then Akamaru attacked him. Shocked, Kiba realized Akamaru had transformed into Naruto. Naruto smirked, "Your dog's with me now." Everyone was impressed with Naruto's cleverness and quick thinking. Kiba said, "It's clear you've gotten stronger, but now I'll fight you with my full power." Naruto replied, "You still won't beat me." Everyone watching was astonished by Naruto's strength. Shikamaru said, "This isn't the Naruto we used to know." Asuma added, "What has Kakashi been doing with him?" Suddenly, Kiba threw a pill to Akamaru, who turned red and escaped from Naruto. Akamaru transformed into Kiba's form. Choji commented, "Kiba gave Akamaru a nutrient pill. It's a special medicine that lets someone fight for 3 days straight without tiring. On top of that, it's a painkiller." Kiba began attacking Naruto, who could barely dodge the strikes. Struggling to counterattack, Naruto focused solely on avoiding blows. Suddenly, Kiba used his special technique and struck Naruto, sending him to the ground, injured and bleeding. Naruto tried to move and said, "I won't lose here. I'm going to become Hokage." Kiba laughed at him and said, "You're so weak. I'm the one who'll become Hokage." But Naruto suddenly stood up, facing Kiba. Everyone was stunned by his resilience after taking such a powerful hit. Naruto declared, "If you try to compete with me for the title of Hokage, I'll crush you with all my strength." Kiba began mocking him, saying, "I'm going to defeat you now and make you realize your true weakness." He attacked Naruto with the same technique again, and Naruto was hit once more. Thinking to himself, "I've seen this move so many times, but I still can't avoid it." Suddenly, he used the transformation technique. When the smoke cleared, there were 3 Kibas standing. Sakura observed, "This way, he can attack them, but they can't attack him." Kiba rushed to hit one of the clones, saying, "I can easily recognize Akamaru's scent." The clone he hit transformed into Akamaru, shocking everyone. Kiba turned and hit another clone, which also transformed into Akamaru. Then Naruto appeared behind him and landed a blow. Everyone was stunned by Naruto's intelligence and how quickly he executed the plan. Kiba could no longer use the same technique. Standing up, he bit his arm, causing it to bleed, and said to himself, "I need to calm down now. I can still beat him easily." Naruto said, "I'll use my new technique now and end this fight right away." Kiba charged at him again, attacking with a flurry of blows. Naruto was knocked down, and every time he tried to stand, Kiba struck him again. When Kiba attempted to hit him once more, Naruto managed to grab his hand and throw him away. Standing up while bleeding, Naruto said, "I told you, I'm going to be Hokage. I can't lose here." But Kiba quickly recovered and started attacking him again. Struggling, Naruto tried to get back on his feet, saying, "I told you, I won't lose." Everyone was amazed at Naruto's determination. Kiba said, "It's clear he's barely standing now. I'll finish this with my next attack." He rushed at Naruto again, but suddenly a foul smell came from Naruto. With Kiba's sensitive nose, he was badly affected. Naruto took advantage, using the shadow clone technique and running circles around Kiba. The clones all attacked him, mimicking Lee and Sasuke's style. Kakashi, smirking, said sarcastically, "So this is his new technique?" He saw Sasuke's move before and just applied it in his own way. Hayate declared Naruto the winner of the match. Everyone was thrilled for him. Naruto climbed back up, finding Hinata offering him a healing medicine to help with his injuries. Naruto used it and his wounds started to heal. Kakashi commented, "The speed of healing isn't because of the medicine but the power of the Nine Tails." Hinata then went to Kiba to give him the same medicine, but Kiba told her, "You need to take care of yourself now. Only a few participants remain, and they're all strong. Here's my advice. If you face Gaara, withdraw immediately. The same goes if you face Neji. He's ruthless and won't go easy on you." Hayate announced the next match, which was between Hinata Hinata Hyuga and Niji Hyuga. Everyone was shocked by the pairing. Both of them stepped forward for the fight. Niji said to Hinata, "I never expected to face you." Naruto asked, "Why do they both have the same last name? Are they siblings?" Kakashi explained, "They're from one of the most famous and oldest clans in the Hidden Leaf Village, the Hyuga clan. But no, they're not siblings. The Hyuga clan is divided into a main house and a branch house. Hinata is from the main house," Lee added, "and Niji is from the branch house. They're relatives, but there's been a lot of tension between the two sides over the years. This kind of thing happens in all old families like the Hyuga and the Uchiha. These families inherit special abilities, and to protect their power, they establish strict rules. In the Hyuga's case, the main house takes all the privileges, which leaves the branch house feeling resentful. That's the root of their issues." Hayate announced the start of the fight. Niji told Hinata, "Let me say something. Surrender now. You're not a strong ninja. All you care about is harmony and avoiding conflict. You have no confidence in yourself. I've always felt your pity for the branch family in our clan, and for that reason, you should remain a genin. I'm sure you only entered this exam because your team asked you to, not because you wanted to." Hinata replied, "No, you're wrong. I want to change myself." She remembered the time Kurenai approached the Hyuga clan leader while he was training Hinata's younger sister, Hanabi. Kurenai told him, "From now on, I'll take responsibility for Hinata. But are you sure you want her to be a ninja? She's the only heir to the Hyuga main family. If she becomes a ninja, she'll face danger and possibly death." Her father replied, "I don't care about her. Do whatever you want. The Hyuga clan doesn't need failures. Hanabi, who's 5 years younger, is already far more capable. We don't need failures in our family." Hinata thought about how she was trying to grow stronger. She looked at Niji, who told her, "You're just a spoiled child from the main house. People can't change themselves. A failure will always be a failure. Personalities and abilities don't improve. From the day people are born, their power is decided. If you try to defy your destiny, you'll suffer greatly. That's the same truth I've accepted as a member of the branch house, and I can never change it. I can see everything with the Byakugan, and I know you're pretending to be strong. Deep down, you just want to run away." Kakashi explained, "The Byakugan is one of the Hyuga clan's abilities. It's like the Sharingan, but visually it's far superior." Suddenly, Niji activated the power of his eyes, and Hinata, terrified, couldn't move. Niji said, "I can see all your fear in your eyes. Right now, you're recalling your painful past. You're constantly thinking about yourself and imagining your defeat in this fight." Naruto grew furious hearing Niji's words. Niji continued to pressure Hinata, saying, "You'll never be able to change yourself." Suddenly, Naruto shouted at her, "You can change yourself if you try." He yelled at Niji, "You're just a fool. Who gave you the right to decide other people's lives?" Then he turned to Hinata, saying, "You have to defeat him and prove your strength. I believe in you." Hinata regained her determination, recalling Naruto's constant efforts to prove his strength. She activated the power of her eyes and stood ready to fight Niji. On the other side, Niji prepared himself and said, "I'm not responsible for whatever happens to you." Lee commented, "Both of them are using the same fighting style." The fight began. Both attacked each other, trying to dodge each other's strikes. Lee remarked, "This fighting style is inherited within the Hyuga clan. Even a light hit can kill the opponent easily." Guy added, "Lee and I use a fighting style that damages the external body, but the Hyuga clan can target internal organs and destroy their cells. Even a minor strike can fatally damage vital organs." Kakashi explained, "With the Byakugan, they can see the chakra flow within the body, allowing them to target vital areas accurately." Watching the fight, they saw the intense battle continue. Suddenly, Niji landed a powerful strike to Hinata's heart. When Niji managed to severely injure Hinata, she tried to strike back, but he easily blocked her attack and hit her again. Everyone was shocked by the incredible extent of his power. The Hokage said, "Hyuga Niji truly is the most genius ninja in his entire clan." Niji looked at Hinata's hand and saw that she was injured in multiple places. He told her, "I've been able to see the chakra points throughout the entire fight, and I've targeted them repeatedly." Kakashi explained, "The human body has 361 chakra pathways divided into small points. If these points are hit, chakra flow to certain limbs can be stopped. But this is an extraordinary level of Byakugan usage. I personally can't even see these points with my own eyes. I feel like Niji knew the locations of these chakra points even before the battle began." Niji hit Hinata again, throwing her to the ground, and said to her, "A person can never change who they are. That is the absolute truth. You are just a desperate child. This is my final warning. Surrender for your own good." Hinata began bleeding as she struggled to stand and said, "I will never withdraw. draw. This is my way of the ninja. She looked over at Naruto and activated her Byakugan, but suddenly, she felt sharp pain in her heart and started bleeding even more. Kurenai said, if Hinata takes another hit, she won't be able to continue the fight. Kakashi added, Niji's attacks have stopped the chakra flow in her body, which means she can't use her fighting technique anymore. The match is already decided. He thought to himself, I didn't expect his power to be this great. Even Sasuke wouldn't be able to stand against him. Suddenly, Naruto shouted again, Hinata, don't you dare give up. Hinata began attacking Niji, thinking to herself, I've always been watching Naruto. Every time I see him try over and over again without ever giving up, I feel brave. Whenever I see him, I feel like I can do anything if I try. But Niji struck her again. Kurenai said, this isn't the Hinata I know standing here. Even though her strength is weak and she struggles with the simplest missions, she's showing incredible bravery I've never seen before. Hinata tried to attack Niji again, but he landed another direct blow, and she collapsed to the ground. Niji told her, you're a foolish child. Your attacks never posed any threat to me from the beginning. The fight is over now. Kurenai said, even though she lost the match, I'm sure she'll grow stronger over time. Gemma stepped forward to stop the fight, but Naruto shouted, no, don't stop the match yet. He looked over at Hinata and saw her standing again. Everyone was shocked by what they were witnessing. Hinata struggled to her feet and thought to herself, Naruto is watching me now. He's the person I respect the most. I can't give up in front of him. She tried to move with great difficulty. Niji said to her, no matter what you do, you're just a failure. Surrender now or you really will die. Hinata replied, no, you're suffering more than I am right now. I'm sure your life is miserable because of how obsessed you are with the clan and its branches. Niji became enraged and rushed to kill her, but suddenly Kakashi, Guy, Ganma, and Kurenai appeared to stop him. Guy said, you promised me you wouldn't continue the fight if it reached this point. Suddenly, Hinata felt severe pain in her heart and collapsed to the ground. Naruto ran toward her to help, but she lost consciousness. Niji approached Naruto and said, I'll warn you about two things. If you're a true ninja, you shouldn't concern yourself with others, and losers will remain losers their entire lives. They never change. Naruto stood up and tried to attack Niji, but Lee stopped him and said, I understand how you feel, but you have to fight him in an official match. Lee then turned to Niji and said, a weak person can defeat a genius through hard work. Kurenai looked at Hinata and noticed her pulse had become very weak. She thought to herself, Niji really intended to kill her. The medical team arrived and immediately transported Hinata to the emergency room. Naruto stood before Niji and said, I promise you, I will defeat you. Shikamaru said to Choji, you should start worrying because only Gaara, Lee, and the sound ninjas are left, and they're very strong. Meanwhile, Kankuro glanced at Gaara and saw him trembling. He thought to himself, Gaara is getting really excited by the matches he's been watching. The beast inside him is starting to awaken, and that's going to be dangerous for anyone who faces him. Kankuro left his team and went to meet Naruto. He asked him, isn't the boy who was fighting just now named Niji? But it's clear he didn't use all of his strength in the match. So what do you think of his power? Naruto replied, I don't care. I'll defeat him no matter what. At that moment, they saw Genma announcing the match before the last one, which was between Gaara and Lee. Lee was very excited for the fight. He stood in front of Gaara and said, I'm very happy to be fighting you now. Tamari commented, no matter how strong this boy is, he won't be able to stand against Gaara. Genma announced the start of the match, and Lee immediately rushed to attack Gaara. However, Gaara's sand managed to block him. Lee kept trying to attack over and over, but it was no use. Kankuro said, no one in the world has ever been able to injure Gaara up to this point. Gaara retaliated, throwing Lee against the wall, but Lee got up and began attacking again. Sakura said, hand-to-hand attacks won't work against him. Lee needs to use ninjutsu. Guy replied, Lee can't use ninjutsu. He doesn't have any talent for it at all, but he's extremely skilled in direct combat, and that's why he can win. Guy signaled to Lee in the middle of the fight. Lee got excited and asked, can I release them now? He began removing the weights from his legs. When he threw them to the ground, a massive shockwave shook the entire area. Everyone was stunned by how heavy the weights were. Lee's speed increased dramatically, allowing him to outmaneuver Gaara and penetrate the sand's defense. He managed to kick Gaara and injure him. Everyone was shocked. Lee attacked again and managed to knock Gaara to the ground. Gaara stood up and stayed still in his place. A mask on his face started to crumble, revealing sand underneath, which then reformed without any injuries. Kankuro said, that's Gaara's sand armor, but it's the first time I've ever seen it in action. Lee began unwrapping the bandages on his hand. He quickly circled around Gaara, hitting him multiple times and lifting him into the air. He wrapped Gaara's body with the bandages, spun him around, and slammed him headfirst into the ground. Gaara's body shattered completely, and everyone was overjoyed. But then Gaara's body began breaking apart into tiny tiny pieces of sand. Gaara reappeared behind Lee and started attacking him with force. Lee couldn't dodge the strikes at all. Kakashi said, he can't move anymore because of the last move he used. It causes significant damage to the body. Lee was completely exhausted, trying to run and evade the attacks, but it was no use. Guy remembered the intense training Lee had undergone, the immense struggles and effort he endured to reach his current level. He looked at Lee and saw that his speed had increased again. Guy said, I know Lee's true strength. He hasn't used all of his power yet. Kakashi asked, can Lee open the 8 gates and use the forbidden technique? Guy replied, no, he can only open 5 gates. Sakura asked them, what does that mean? Guy explained, these are gates of power that ninjas use in primary combat. They regulate the release of chakra from the body. If someone opens them, the energy they release can be more than 10 times their normal level. Kakashi added, anyone who can open all 8 gates would have power surpassing even the Hokage, but that person would die as a result. He turned to Guy and said, I have no intention of interfering between you and Lee, but I've lost faith in you. Guy responded, you don't know anything about his life. Lee has to prove his strength to everyone. He's willing to sacrifice anything, and that's why I taught him these techniques. Suddenly, Guy saw an immense amount of energy radiating from Lee. Lee said, I can't be the only one who loses today. The energy exploded throughout his body, and he managed to open 3 of the 8 gates. Kakashi said, how could a kid like him reach this level of power? Guy replied, don't judge him until he's done. He looked and saw that Lee had opened the 4th gate, unleashing an incredible amount of energy. Lee charged at Gaara with great speed and managed to hit him hard, landing multiple powerful strikes. Everyone was amazed by Lee's strength. Kakashi said, I'm sure his muscles have torn apart. Suddenly, Lee opened the 5th gate. Gaara thought to himself, I can't defend myself. Is this guy even human? Lee said, this was the secret move I was planning to use to defeat Niji, but I'll show it to you now. He charged at Gaara with his remaining strength, enduring immense pain. Lee collapsed to the ground, but Gaara managed to defend himself at the last moment. Using his sand, Gaara trapped Lee's arm and leg, then executed a technique that tore through them. Lee was thrown to the ground. Gaara attempted to attack him again to finish him off, but Guy stepped in to protect Lee. Gaara froze, recalling memories of his own past, feeling pain. He asked Guy, why did you save him? Guy replied, because I love him. Gaara stood up and said, I'm withdrawing. Everyone was shocked. Kakashi said, the moment Guy stepped in, Lee had already lost. As Gunma was about to declare Gaara the winner, he noticed Lee standing, covered in blood. Guy rushed to check on him, only to find that Lee was unconscious and had lost consciousness on his feet. Guy began crying and said, you're an amazing ninja, Lee. Gunma announced Gaara as the winner. Naruto quickly ran down to check on Lee, and the medical team arrived to take him to the hospital. One of the medics told Guy, come with us immediately. The medic added, he's breathing, but all his muscles are torn, and his internal bones are crushed. He'll need a very long time to recover, but he'll be okay. However, the damage to his arm and leg is severe. His body won't allow him to live as a ninja anymore. Naruto and Guy heard this and were shocked. Guy started crying, saying, I just wanted to make him as strong as he wanted to be, but I should have stopped him from fighting today. Kakashi approached him and said, earlier, I told you that you were wrong, but if I were in your place, I would have done the same. Genma announced the 10th and final fight, Choji versus the leader of the Sound Ninja team. Choji used the expansion jutsu, turning into a massive ball, and began attacking. The Sound Ninja managed to dodge his attack and slammed him into the wall. Using sound waves, he struck Choji's body and easily defeated him. He said, the human body is 70% water, and water transmits sound well. Genma declared him the winner. He thought to himself, I'm sure Orochimaru doesn't need any of us anymore. I'll prove to him that I'm not just a test tool. Genma stood and announced that the preliminary exam was over. The Hokage rose to congratulate those who had won. Sakura, worried about Sasuke, asked Kakashi how he was doing. Kakashi assured her, don't worry, he's fine now, but he thought to himself, everything depends on Sasuke's will. The Hokage said, excluding Sasuke, 5 from the Leaf Village have qualified. He told them, I will now explain the rules of the final exam. Meanwhile, Kabuto was reporting the results of the exam to Orochimaru. Orochimaru said, the Leaf Village is far too peaceful. I must attack them now. But first, I want to enjoy fighting the old Hokage. Kabuto replied, but it seems you're very hesitant. He added, it looks like we're heading for a great war between the ninja villages, and I believe you'll be the one to start it. I suppose Sasuke Uchiha will be your key. Orochimaru replied, you're right. You understand me well. That's why I need you to take good care of Sasuke. I've already placed the curse mark on him, though Kakashi added another seal. It's useless. He continued, you must take him before the darkness leaves his mind. But I'm worried about Uzumaki Naruto. Sasuke is filled with the energy of revenge, and the only reason he's alive is to avenge his older brother, Itachi. He won't die before accomplishing his goal. Yet when he attacked me, he fought with all his strength, knowing the difference in power between us, and wasn't afraid of death. That's not what I expected from him, Orochimaru added. It seems his relationship with the Kyuubi boy is gradually changing his mind and goals. We must separate them before the influence deepens. I need to paint Sasuke in my own image. Kabuto, visibly uneasy, turned to leave. Orochimaru asked, "Are you planning to stop my plans?" "The only way now is to kill Sasuke Uchiha. And you know you can't kill me because you're on the same level as Kakashi. Don't try to stand in my way." Orochimaru laughed and added, "I'm joking. You can go now." Meanwhile, the Hokage addressed the qualifiers. "In the final exam, everyone will come to watch the battles between you. You must showcase your full strength as representatives of your country. The final exam will take place in a month, giving you time to improve your skills and analyze the information gathered from today's matches." At the same time, Kabuto killed the assistants at the hospital and approached Sasuke's bed. He said, "It seems we're both unlucky to have caught Orochimaru's eye. It's hard to live with a demon inside you when you're just a child." He held a scalpel close to Sasuke, intending to kill him. Suddenly, Kabuto threw the scalpel toward Kakashi, saying, "The protection you placed on Sasuke is too simple. Strengthen it next time." Kakashi replied, "You're not just an ordinary genin. You attacked me the moment you sensed my presence. But what are you doing with Sasuke? Who sent you here? You're the adopted son of Konoha's medical team leader, aren't you? Are you connected to Orochimaru?" Kabuto replied, "Even if you caught me now, you wouldn't be able to prove anything. You'd better let me go." Kakashi drew his weapon and warned, "Don't move." Kabuto held a kunai to Sasuke and suddenly used a technique to escape through the window. Kakashi muttered, "If someone like him is working with Orochimaru, I can't stay silent." The Hokage distributed papers with different numbers to the ninjas, and each called out their number. His assistant showed them the competition bracket. The first match was Neji versus Naruto, and the second was Sasuke versus Gaara. The Hokage told them, "I, along with several skilled ninjas, will monitor the matches and evaluate you throughout the tournament. Even if you lose your first match, there's still a chance for you to become a Chunin." Naruto left and headed to the hospital to check on Sasuke and Kakashi, but visits to Sasuke's room were strictly forbidden. Naruto looked around and saw Kakashi nearby. He approached him to talk. Kakashi said, "I know what you want without you telling me. I've assigned someone to train you because I'm too busy during this period. I found a teacher who's more suitable for you than I am." Naruto turned to see his new trainer, Ebisu. If you are excited to see the rest of the story, just get down to the comments and show me your enthusiasm. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notifications to get all the new videos. That's all for this video, and see you next.